Hello and welcome to our Changeling the Dreaming 20th Anniversary Edition Chronicle, Toronto by Day, Tales from the Rookery. As a warning, to start with, this is a mature game and it may explore some dark and troubling themes. These may include, but are not restricted to, body horror, gore, violence, loss of character agency, gaslighting, mind control, and many others. Our players have already discussed consent and boundaries, and we collectively avoid situations that may be triggering. The players will also let me know if anything gets uncomfortable by using yellow and red cards in our private chat. If you as a viewer ever feel uncomfortable or triggered, please feel free to pause and step away. Our streams are available on YouTube after the game, so you can always come back to an episode when you feel more prepared, or you can skip the episode entirely and go on to the next episode. And now, let's meet our players for tonight. Hi, Motley. How is everyone doing this evening?
Good.
Fantastic. Time to introduce yourselves and tell the viewers, tell the characters a little bit about your viewer. Tell the viewers a little bit about your character. So we've had some on and off due to real life and some things bounce around, and you played D&D recently, which I got to see and I was very envious of. That looked like a lot of fun. We may have to have that Cluricon come back and run another game sometime in the next little while. But as far as I remember, let's start off with introductions with Crystal.
Oh, okay. Crystal, I play your friendly neighborhood Cord, and this game session will probably be interesting.
Pretty sure. I hope so. Thank you, Crystal. And next up, we have Joanna.
Hello, my name is Joanna. My pronouns are she, her, and I am playing Lara Applewood for you this evening, morning or afternoon. Also she, her, and she is a pisky, a thieving little pisky.
Wonderful. Next up, we have Kitty.
Hi, everybody, Kitty Kimchi, and I'm going to be playing your mischievous zookeeping Puka.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And after Kitty, we have Anita.
Hi everyone, I'm Anita, and tonight I am playing Pen, our resident Eshu storyteller.
Thank you. And after Pen, we have a Rose.
Hey everyone, Rose here. I'll be playing Lee, your friendly neighborhood amnesiac Selkie, and both our pronouns are she, her.
Wonderful. Thank you. And returning as our special guest, the ever lovable, ineffable Michael.
Hola. I'm Mike, he, him. I will be playing once again Donovan Osgood. Also he, him.
And my name is Cliff. I'm the storyteller, which means I'm the one who starts everything every week and then gets to sit back and sip my ginger ale as I watch it go places I never expected nor considered that it might go, because we have a very, very curious, intelligent, alternatively thinking. How else can I say, wow, you guys messed me up so wonderfully, type of Motleys. So we've had a few games. We've had our Halloween game, which bounced through twice due to real life. People seem to enjoy it the second time around just as much as the first. We've had the D&D game. So it's been a few weeks since the Motley has been on set. Rose, do you want to remind our viewers what happened last time you guys were at the studios, if you can remember? I'm asking the amnesiac this.
Of course, right? Of all people to ask. Thankfully, Rose does not have that. So from what I recall, we went to investigate the studios. Forget the actual name of the studios. It was another one. Heavily medicated on cold medicine today, folks. So it's going to be a very spotty catch up. But what I do recall is that we went to one of the big sort of warehouses, had fun when in a game that I like to call difficulty with doors. Motley is not a huge fan of doors. Try to get in each and every one, and then alerted security to our presence, and then had to vacate as quickly as we could. Getting away, funnily enough, the only detail I recall is getting away on segways. which was awesome. We then later had a replan. At least we found like one of the doors. We think it's the one that goes into the trod that Donovan was looking for, possibly. That's all I got.
Yeah, nope, that's a good summation. That pretty much wraps it up. There were some other odds and ends and bits and pieces in there, but everyone, just because it's been a little while and you've had access to everything you need access to, you'll be starting the game full of glamour and full of willpower. And part of the reason I'm doing this is not just because you might need it. Rumor has it. We'll see where those rumors go. And yes, it was the Pinewood Studios where you are working for Donovan, and you were across, kind of down the street a little bit at Revival 629 Studios. That was where the fun was happening. So we're going to take it about a week back because you were waiting for the new moon, which, if I remember right, was on the 11th.
Oh, also, Penn sent an email to the Baroness.
Oh, remind me of what that email said, please.
It was talking about our friend Osgood, who we met,
Ah, okay.
getting the Queen's opinion on, or the Baroness's opinion on Donovan.
Gotcha. Okay. Strangely, you have not received an email back in all of this time.
That's not good.
Now, give me a moment to just check something so that I can verify, because we have to play some higgledy-piggledy with the date. New moon, November. Okay. No, it was November 4th was the new moon. So we're kind of hopping back a fair bit, but that's okay because we get to play with time in this game. And it has been 3 games since. So we're going to go back to November 4th. A couple of weeks ago, real time, but for your characters, November 4th is indeed the real time. It is the 4th. Oh, it's the 4th of Thursday. The 4th was a Thursday too. So all sorts of fun stuff can happen on the 4th. So it's the 4th. It is the day of. What are you doing, Motley? Let's start with, I'm going to pick at random. Let's start with Lara Applewood. What are you doing this morning of the 4th?
I think Lara would have made her way to the hospital just ever so briefly, just to check in, to see, what's going on, whether or not her plants are okay. And probably just to kind of give a few whispers to the marigolds and, put some spice in the ears of the carrots. And then she would have headed over to the studio.
Excellent. You're going to find Misty is in good form, actually in amazing form. She seems to be very, very cognizant of who and what she is, right down to her core. You don't see any of the trio, but Misty's in great spirits, and chatters at you briefly about their vacation in Lancaster and meeting Betty's relatives, all of them, and how interesting those folk happened to be as well. Apparently, many of them were farmers and shepherds. So it was a wonderful time, and that little corner with all sorts of interesting religious accessories, chokers and necklaces and pins and everything else. There are some new ones seem to have appeared in a row down one side, and if you look at them, they all say that they were made in England. So she seems to have come back with some product as well. And then off to the studio. Oh, and your plants are doing just fine. They are starting to feel the autumn moving in. It is November. It is Toronto. It doesn't really tend to feel the winter snows until well into December or January, but it is called the hothouse for a reason. They can still tell it's the season.
Well, I'm gonna see about putting in some heating at least, so that the soil doesn't get too cold. Because I know that they can manage on their own, but we want to make sure that the soil stays at the right temperature for them.
Yes, indeed. Okay, let's next on my screen, Pen. What is Pen doing this morning?
Pen is sleeping in because it's one of the few days that she's actually been off from the beguiling in the last little bit.
I approve of that. Naps are highly underrated.
Pen is catching up with some much needed sleep, and eventually at some point wanders downstairs to the beguiling to sort of check in with her dads and see how they're doing.
They're doing well, and they've got a glow about them you have not seen in a long time. It looks like a little vacation did the pair of them a lot of good.
Are they reorganizing the shelves after I've reorganized everything again?
Most of it.
It makes sense to me. It makes sense to me.
They are leaving great swaths aside.
And before I give each of them a kiss on the cheek before I head out the door, I'm gonna go to the hospital for a little bit, and then I've got some more motley things to do. Is there anything you need from me while I'm out?
Nope, they tell you to actually enjoy the day.
Oh yeah. You sure you don't want me to get any like ingredients for dinner tonight, or?
Nope, they're good. But
Okay.
thank you for asking. They appreciate it very much.
Okay. And Pen will sort of walk out the door and begin to walk towards the hospital.
Okay. Excellent. So you're okay. So Lyra's at the hospital and then heading to the studio. Pen is heading to the hospital. Okay. Next up, we have Alette. Alette, what are you doing on this bright and wonderful Thursday?
I'm at the hospital showing the kids muffin and the manicure that Penn gave her, and the little cloak that she made for Muffin, the little bearded dragon.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes, yes. The kids would adore a cute little bearded dragon in a cloak. And several of the younger girls definitely ooh and ah over the manicure. And even one of the little boys did not know you could manicure a bearded dragon, but he is very happy to learn that you can indeed. Okay, so at the hospital, where the heck? At some point, I will organize this book more than just putting a couple of interesting little bookmarks in it. Oh, there we go. At the hospital, you don't run into her for talking, but your driver does disappear downstairs, and he does spend time in the kitchens. And Gertie is back in the kitchen, and she is running it like she usually runs things. And apparently, while they were on vacation, standards must have slipped somehow, some way. You can't tell. The place still shines brightly and looks immaculately clean and is in wonderful shape, but she is everywhere in that kitchen, watching everyone, making sure that extra cleaning is done and extra care is taken with the food. And yes, indeed, there is a little bag of food at the end of it that is carried back to you to give to the bearded dragon, to Muffin.
After I get the food, I pack Muffin up and get ready to take her back to the studio, because apparently the cloak impressed some people, and then she has a scene that she has to film.
Excellent. That would definitely work. Okay. And Lily, Thursday morning, what are you up to?
Um, well, I don't remember what, again, is it Thursdays that I go with a book cart, or is that a different day?
Yes. Yep.
It is Thursdays.
It is
that I
indeed.
go.
Yes.
Okay. Then, yes, then I would have gotten up in the morning to get ready for the library. And you know, made sure to have the cart ready for everyone's requests and get it to the hospital for all the kids.
Okay. So you spend an afternoon rolling around the hospital with your book cart, handing out books, taking books back in, trading books, talking books with a number of the kids and some of the staff. You know, during your meandering about there. Everything seems to be
in the hospital, whatever. Is there still like the decorations from Halloween up, since it's only the 4th?
no, they came down pretty quick.
Oh, okay.
They started cleaning them up on the 1st, and so
Wow,
they've been
okay.
pretty cleaned up. However, you wouldn't have noticed, Lara, because you know, you pretty much stayed to the lobby area and then went upstairs to the rooftop and then came back down. And they haven't gotten to the lobby yet. But Lily, as you're trundling around, there are several of the they seem to have turned out all of the maintenance crew, all 6 of them. And they are working in the hallways on the PA speakers.
Oh, right. Oops.
And you can hear a couple of them, you know, talking about it must have been quite a power surge or something that, you know, blew most of the speakers. I mean, that's just, it's weird that happened and it didn't cause a fire or, you know, any other issues, but, you know, now they have to replace all the speakers and rerun all the wires.
Just push my little book cart. I don't know anything about that.
And at one point, you know, you don't really, you pass various staff and such. And when you're on the 5th floor, you push your cart down a hallway. And there's that moment where the hallway is, you know, kind of empty. Everybody's just stepped out of the hallway for so many. There's that serendipitous moment. And Betty kind of comes around the corner and just strolls along. And as she walks past you, she just kind of gives you a little bit of a smile, and you swear it's a bit of a wink, but it might not be. And she walks past and says, "I hope our little chronicler is doing well today."
What? Just fine. Thank you.
Good to hear. And she continues off.
Okay.
And as you finish your rounds on the 5th floor, when you walk past the nurse's station, you can hear 3 of the nurses talking, and you swear one of them said something about Betty was smiling today. Betty never smiles. Is the world coming apart? What's going to end?
Well, maybe she had a good vacation. I don't know.
Okay, so you'll be wrapping up at the hospital. Lee, what is Lee doing on this fine, beautiful November 4th, Thursday morning?
She is getting up and getting ready for work to go onto set because they start fairly early-ish, I would say, being a PA.
Okay.
She, the point where she's like, we come into her, she's already like showered, hair is drying, kind of like up in one of those like towel, like beehive kind of things, brushing her teeth, listening to the radio, whatever's on the radio, essentially, probably music or news channel or something like that, just keeping up to date. Checking her phone for any messages from the Motley or anything like that. Anything come up? Oh, she moves her new dice bag over with her dice in it, and it looks like dragon scales. By the way.
The phone on the wall beside the door rings. 1 long ring, 2 short rings.
That's weird. Hello? Hello? All right. Mm-hmm.
Lee, Everly,
Hmm?
it's your dad. Everything's going good. When you get the key, you need to talk to Davidson. Hopefully, we'll be there soon. And then it goes dead.
Dad? Dad? What? You get the key. She hangs it up and she get the key. Talk to Davidson. Okay. All right. She's gonna run a quick blow dry through the hair. Just put it up in a ponytail. Grabs the stuff that she's given for work and then just heads out the door.
Excellent. So off to the studio.
Mm.
Wonderful. Okay. So 3 are heading to the studio. Pan, you get to the hospital about the same time Lily is coming down to the main lobby, having finished her book cart run.
It go well?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's really nice how interested a lot of the kids are in the books that I end up bringing. It's so fun to like see their enjoyment in it.
Well, that's good. I'm gonna head upstairs, check in on the freehold.
Oh, you want me to come with or?
I mean, up to you. Do you want to come with?
Yeah, sure. Just curious.
So we'll head up to the 7th floor and just check in.
Okay.
Make
Who's
sure
got the
it's
key?
okay. I think Pan has the key this week. I'm gonna double check Pen's pockets to make sure she's got the
Lara
key.
is not in the building. You're pretty safe.
Okay.
I'm almost tempted to have you roll for it, but not quite. I mean, come on. You were able to get stuff from Vancouver.
Well,
So
find
yes,
out.
you have the key. Key goes in the door and it turns the correct way.
There's like this big, deep sigh of relief. And then Pen's gonna walk into the freehold and like just make sure everything's normal. The door
Well, as
closes
normal
behind
as a
him.
freehold ever feels. Yes, it feels right. It smells right. Everything is clean and put away. The bale fire is flickering away happily in its little fireplace.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it looks comfy and wonderful.
How's the pumpkin doing?
The pumpkin is sitting there.
Okay.
Just
It has not moved from where you left it on Halloween night.
Gonna poke it a little bit.
The pumpkin does nothing. It kind of rocks a little bit as you poke it.
No, that's fine.
well, Pen's gonna pick up the pumpkin and stick it on like a windowsill.
I didn't know if the
Okay.
freehold had one.
Sure, it's like an interior, like a little cabin.
Yeah. No. There are definitely windows out.
What is outside the windows of the freehold?
Toronto.
Toronto?
Yep.
Huh.
Okay.
Yep. It's the exact same view as when the room is not a freehold.
Okay. Okay. Well, everything actually looks pretty good in here, which is a relief.
Yeah, I was a little anxious after the last time we were in here on Halloween.
Mm.
But things look good.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we should maybe, I don't know, are we meeting at Pinewood today? Is that the plan?
I think that's the plan. I mean, there wasn't anything to come do over here.
I mean, we also have to meet up with Mr. Clean, the cat's pajamas.
Right.
That's a night thing.
Is that? Sorry, Tyler, what was his name?
Mr. Clean,
Oh,
the cat's pajamas.
Yes.
According to the raccoons.
yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm glad you remembered.
Well, okay.
But yeah, we have kind of a busy sort of night.
Yeah, busy docket.
Yes. So are the rest already at the studio? Do we know?
I don't know. I thought you might have messaged them. I haven't checked my phone today.
Well, let me take a look, and Lily's gonna get her phone out and see what's there. And yeah, sure. I suppose we've been, texting back and forth, and that was kind of where we agreed. So I have already. Is Laura still in the hospital? So would it just be Lee that's already there now?
I don't know.
Lara would have left, because if Lara hadn't
would've left.
left, Lara would have been
Okay,
rolling
so Laura already
Had
went.
to steal the key from Penn.
Right. And right. Okay. So yeah, just kind of in our group text, say that Penn and I are gonna be heading over to the studio and kind of where's everyone else right now?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
We'll duck out of the freehold and lock the door behind us so that the
Yes.
yes can actually send out
That's important.
signal.
Yes.
There's no Wi-Fi in the freehold yet.
No.
Wi-Fi is the most powerful climber.
Wonder if we can work towards that. That would be kind of neat. Anywho.
Well, get with the times, maybe.
Yeah, I mean it's cozy enough in there, but it does kind of look like medieval times. I don't know.
I love it. Reminds me of a place I owned in life number 9. I was a grump then.
Oh. Not out doing crazy shenanigans like we're doing right now these days.
For a little bit, I forgot how to have fun. Then it came back to me. Inspiration waxes and wanes like the moon. Speaking of, we should get going.
Yes. I was assuming that while we were sort of chatting, we'd already been like
sort of walking and talking.
Yes, we're sort of walking and talking, and elevator down and all that. Because we're assuming that since it's not Halloween, that elevators are safe again. We hope.
Penn's
So-
really good at taking those stairs these days.
On your way to the studios, Lara spent most of the day at the studio, again, wrangling coffee more than anything else. There doesn't seem to be a lot that goes on in those offices besides digging the coffee around. There had been talk about the vandalism in the south buildings, but nothing came of it, and everyone is sure that it was just some homeless people that got scared off. Alette spent most of the afternoon with the animals, with Dan, and at least one of the drivers, probably 2 this time. As everything has progressed, there are the animals who have to go back to the zoo every night, and they've actually been able to cobble together some fairly nice kennels and a nice aviary, so some of the animals can stay overnight in the air, which means you have less to truck back and forth. And Alette has been given the specific responsibility to kind of hang out after they trundle the animals off again, to watch the ones that are staying overnight and to kind of help make sure that they're comfortable and happy. Today, Lee, you got to spend most of your day in wardrobe helping out. Now, in this movie lot with all of the studio spaces and everything going on. You've all gotten to see the chaos that goes on, the whirlwind of people and the constant moving and everything. Strangely, wardrobe is the eye of the storm. Everything is quiet in there. Everything is kept almost stately. It moves at a proper pace. Every now and then, some AD will come in and their voice will start to rise about we need certain costumes in these places, and the wardrobe ladies will just shush them right down and make sure that what needs to be gotten will be gotten when it is gotten. So wardrobe is a kind of almost another world from the rest of, you can see everything else going crazy right outside the doors. But wardrobe does not accept that crazy. Wardrobe is the one sane place on the entire lot.
As is usually most costume departments, if you ask me.
So it's probably getting into late afternoon, early evening when Pan and Lily arrive on the lot.
I see them. Or am I still busy
Oh.
running around with the costumes?
Things have started to slow down for all of you. So now's the time that most people are wrapping up and heading home, though you've still got your, long hour evening workers who are still around. Now's the time when things tend to start to quieten a little bit, cool off. So it's much more easy to hear Mr. Osgood's voice floating through the air from wherever he is running things.
Hey guys.
Oh, hey Lee, how's it going?
Pretty good. Honestly, the ladies that run the costume van over there, very much like our instructors, if you will. It's a different world in there.
That's it. You've been holed up all day?
Yeah, I didn't mind making sure people are in the right stuff, grabbing stuff, and getting bins and everything like that. It was really neat to see, actually. The communication was really, really good in this one. Unlike locations.
Awesome. So what's the plan? Have you talked to any of the others?
Oh, I haven't heard anything from the others. I've been busy at work all day. Haven't looked up at the phone. One of the ladies looked at me when I pulled it out, and I just pulled it back, put it back in my pocket.
Fair enough. Just looking at the group chat. What's going on? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Where with Lee at insert location here?
I would say near costume van
Near
location
costume
here.
van. Just drop a pin.
Lara writes back, little slow over here. Everybody's had their coffee. Dinner time soon, but not my responsibility. I'll be there in a minute or 10. And Lara's going to hop on her Segway. She's going to stop by the coffee truck and get everybody some peppermint lattes or hot chocolates.
Hot chocolate.
Because pumpkin spice is now done.
Time for hot chocolate.
Caramel brulee for me.
And steamed eggnog.
Yes.
And a let's
Sorry.
take it back. Just finishing up feedings. Should be there soon.
Okay. Then
Send
kind
slow.
of just like chill a little bit till everyone gets
Lee
to us.
sends like lizard emojis, like 3 of them.
We all converge eventually.
So I guess Go ahead, Lily. Sorry.
Oh no, I just said coalesce.
Oh.
Yeah, Lara will pull up, and then whatever coffee it was that you had said when you texted back will be the coffee and or hot chocolate that you receive. Lara seems to be drinking green tea for some silly reason, and she has one that's labeled Mr. Osgood, and it is a half fat, no whip, um, double mocha, triple espresso with just a hint of cinnamon.
Damn.
I mean, the man knows what he likes.
Made with soy.
Because of course it is.
Oh, terrible, terrible. Anna, you need, darling, I love you. You need to let me know the minute we get those spears from the replica shop. We need to have them in hands. I don't know how. You've always made you're a miracle worker. I love you dearly. We need to get it done though. Bruce, no, we're not doing the London period piece until next Tuesday. Yeah. So put all of those, all that, get costuming down here and get them to clean up this shit. I don't care. Gloria, she talk to Gloria. She loves me. Anyways,
Gloria's not going to like that, but she does.
help me out,
Stamps.
kitty, cat, something.
Who are you looking at? Me? Lee.
That's what I said. It's fine. Where's the rest?
She literally just goes,
And here's your coffee, Mr. Donovan.
Thank you.
Problem?
Sniffs it.
so suspicious.
Wouldn't you be?
Well, the cart said it was your favorite, so.
And I was kind of suspicious since day one, and I'm kind of over it.
Pops the lid, drinks half of it down. Not bad, kid.
I try.
Kind of that hint of the whole pumpkin spice that's no longer there, but is if you ask them nicely. Good. Top marks. The rest of you, you're all here?
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Let's go. I'm excited.
Yep.
Drowns the rest of the coffee. Looking around for hands the empty coffee cup to Lee.
Guys, got an
Pops.
86 a coffee cup. Anybody? No, just me. Okay, great.
Take the coffee.
Come on.
Leave it on his desk.
So what was the plan again? We have a plan,
We're
right?
gonna open a door.
That was the plan.
That didn't work last time.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
And
it
then
was
security
because
came after us.
let's call it some sloppy fingers. And I got a plan.
Okay, let's try it.
Yeah.
This is on a need to know basis, so we'll find out.
Mm.
Hopefully.
Because the door you tried to open wasn't the door.
Was a door.
Well, we know that now.
Yeah, exactly. Now,
I-
as we're walking, the big gray doors on the south end of the building, that's the doors we wanted to open.
I tried those.
Those were huge.
No. We got to put a little more juice into it.
Oh,
But
gotcha.
I got a plan, and I'm gonna lock all the other doors so nobody can actually bother us this time.
Good idea.
Because sloppy. That's one thing I can't stand is being sloppy. All right,
Nope.
that's a lie. Still, the chaos. If it's mine, it's fine. If it's organized chaos, it's okay. It's other people's chaos. No, not so good. Not so good. Okay.
Hmm.
So, how far away, storyteller, is the?
From where you guys are starting at Pinewood, you're talking, it was about a 10-minute ride on the Segway, so it's about
Yeah,
a
I guess
20-minute stroll. if you're walking.
And do I know about the you sent me messages earlier, the distances inside?
Distances inside. You mean the
You-
size of the
you
building?
had a suggestion on the inside.
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right. Everybody grab a Segway.
So
I do
segue.
this in style, baby. Yeah. So everybody hops on. Donovan hops on a Segway. Conspicuously marked. It's got a D with a keychain hanging on it. I mean,
And as
Big
you
old
segue
D.
over to Revival, you know, it's November. The sun goes down a little earlier, so you've got a nice sunset behind you as you're heading to the east. And as you get to the space in the parking lot between the two major lots, there's that other Segway. It goes the other way. You know, long-haired guy on it, just kind of grinning madly as he just buzzes straight past you, going the other way, heading
Hey,
west.
David.
He's the one that you recognize, Lara, the guy who seems to never touch the ground with his feet. He is always on a Segway.
Well, he always seems to be having such fun.
I don't actually know what he does.
Lara,
Yeah,
There.
does he have a last name?
I don't know. He came up to the coffee truck one time when I was getting coffee with one of the other ones, and he started talking to one of the other interns, and she said that his name was David, but I didn't get anything else.
sorry, Taylor.
Okay.
Do I know David?
Well, everybody knows David.
We don't.
But,
So he's kind of like that one character in Big Hero 6. He's just there.
yes.
Nobody
Yeah.
knows why he's there on campus, but
Yep.
he's there.
Yeah. Everybody knows David. No one's quite sure which company he works for or what he does, but everyone knows him and he's always around.
Seems like a nice guy.
What could possibly
Yeah,
be
but
wrong?
he drinks mochachinos. It's weird.
Wow, judgment.
I was gonna say what?
Every
No
day a
coffee shame.
mochaccino. Every day a
Coffee shaving
mochaccino.
people. Okay.
Okay. So it's about like I said, 10 minutes on a Segway. And there you are. You're at buildings 10, 11, and 12, that little cluster of 3 buildings again.
So head straight to that building.
Which was, if I remember right, building 12.
Oh.
Was it building 12? Yeah, it was building 12, the southern of the pair. Once again, doors locked.
God damn it. How do I get in?
Well, Lara should still have a key card, but I don't know if it's
Yep.
gonna work.
Yeah, they give you a replacement key card because your previous one was stolen. So, yep, you sweep the key card across the little, and it turns green, and you hear beep, clink.
Sweet.
All right, let's go in.
Stoked. All right, let's do this. Everybody goes in. Bring it.
Yep.
Bring the Segway.
Mr. Donovan, why don't you have a key card?
This is the opposite side of the establishment.
Mm-hmm.
I have key card for my buildings.
He's in charge of the studios,
Mm-hmm. Lara's just being
not the
snarky.
warehouses.
Amazingly, you
Oh.
have key card for all kinds of places. In fact, you're gonna need your help. You specifically, Miss Applewood. Applewood.
Yeah. What kind of help do you need from me?
Apple cider?
I just have a key card. That's all I have.
No. That's okay. That's okay. Everybody, bring your Segways.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a
Okay.
walk.
He goes in with her segue.
Excellent.
It's like
Okay.
Right
And
on.
it's as I described before, very large 2-story workbench space along one wall. Nothing stored in there at the moment, but you can tell from tire tracks on the cement floor that vehicles have gone in and out. Stuff has been carted in and out. It has been stored there before. It's obviously used for both carpentry and for prop and background storage. You go in from the doors on the western wall, and you've got a small single personal door right across the way that goes into 10. Then to your right, you've got the big gray double doors that should lead outside facing south. And then on the left, you've got the roll-up door that is between building 12 and building 11.
Okay. So I am going to Ms. Applewood. Could you get me a call sheet?
Can I get you a call sheet?
Can you fish in your pockets and get me a call sheet?
I don't think that's how this works, Mr. Donovan. Mr. Osgood, I
Let's
don't.
take a shot and maybe empty
Okay.
your pockets to see if you have. a
Oh,
call
I'll
sheet.
try, but yeah,
I need a call
Lyra's just like, what the? But Joanna's like, yes, I will do this thing for you.
Okay. So if you could roll willpower, please. You want to roll, generally you roll 6s and up in order to not lift things. So I want you to roll the other way, 5s and down.
To have lifted it.
Three three failures, I guess, if you want to.
Excellent.
Because,
No,
yeah.
three is the number you needed to hit.
Nice.
You reach into your pocket and you find a couple of sugar packets and some stir sticks. You find some small change, including a pair of loonies. You find a call sheet for Umbrella Academy, last episode of season 1,
Yes.
which was shot in Hamilton. And you find 3 Band-Aids still in the wrappers.
Oh, you're brilliant.
These band-aids are going to be useful. I'm
They
sure
go
of
to
it.
soar.
They're always useful. Always carry band-aids. And Lara sticks those back in her pocket and gives the call sheet to Donovan.
Oh, beautiful.
I still don't know how that happened.
Trust me. Takes the call sheet, manifests, sort of does a little thing, pops open the spell book, inserts it in to the spell book, and sort of it kind of becomes a page. Runes light up on it as he waves his hand over it, and we're going to need some privacy. And so mutter points at the big sliding door and points at the door we came in and the other door that leads to 10. And I am going to use guest list and lock them.
Excellent. I would like you to roll me sovereign plus prop. And nice little bunk. So that definitely helps out. So yeah, we'll make it 7s and up.
Sovereign. Oh. 7s.
Yeah, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Oh. And 10s are just 10s.
I believe so.
They
You
don't double the way they
no,
do in 5th.
No, you don't. Yeah, they would if it was nature for your affinity, but it's prop, it's not. So yeah, no, 10s are just 10s.
4 successes.
That's enough. All of you can kind of almost hear the locks slamming home on those 3 doors.
Okay. Oh man. All right, let's do this.
Have to worry about any cameras?
No.
Any security?
No, the cameras are usually on the outside of the building. Somebody gets in, you can see how they got in and who they were when they're outside, but generally they don't have any cameras on the inside, really. Lee, I'm gonna get you to stand here. And he points to a point on the floor.
Goes
'cause
stands there.
That's if I'm remembering the lake, that's the closest to that point. Okay, Ms. Applewood, I'm going to put you here, and you're sort of equidistant to each other, sort of, and about 10 or 15 feet from the door itself, but sort of on either sides of it. And you, and he points to, wait, let me get the thing, Alette. I'm going to have you stand here. And basically, and you, Lily, here,
Mhm.
and
Okay.
Pen here. And it basically arranges you almost in a pentagram. And basically steps up to the center. Wait, and he fishes around. You don't happen to have chalk, do you, Lara?
I do.
Oh,
I pull out some chalk pastels from my
Oh.
book bag.
amazing. I'm gonna use them all, sorry.
No, that's good. That's what they're for.
These sketches,
Supplies are meant to be used, not
so,
hoarded.
connecting points,
That is a colorful
basically
design.
just on his almost on all fours sort of thing. He's just sort of like tracing backwards the entire time, a little circle around each of you that you're standing in, and all the way around, basically making a 5-point pentagram without actually making the pentagram symbol in the between. Draws a bunch of symbology on the outside all the way around. And on the inside of the circle as well. And then a singular middle circle sort of thing, and hands you the nub back if you want it. Okay. Everybody think of the dreaming or something. This is going to get wild. Sits down, crisscross applesauce. Starts, flops the book open in front of him, starts muttering, drawing symbols in the air sort of thing, very Doctor Strange style, just they're popping up all over the place, and he kind of grabs this thread, does this with it, does this, forms this, does this other thing sort of thing. Reaches over, plucks a hair from Pen's head, and reaches over, plucks a hair from Lara's head, ties them together, lashes them into
Oh.
a longer strand, and it almost looks like a key. Plucks a hair from his own head, wraps it around, and almost basically, and he sort of draws down, and he's drawing the key, the teeth of the key itself sort of thing, and he's kind of trying to form it almost like he's taking like this golden reddish magic sort of glam thing, and he's trying to form a physical, or at least a visual representation of a key. Apologies, I should have asked. Alette, may I?
Okay.
So stoked. Or you can
should
pull it out
pull it
yourself if you like, or if you have a
Alette.
straight, that's fine too.
Fine. But it's not because of your chiseled features or the fact that you smell like rosemary. It's got-
I say buttermilk pancakes, really?
I mean, I did have
Maple
pancakes
syrup?
this morning, and I might have spilled a little.
Yeah, Canadian maple syrup.
It's more like amber and cashmere from me, really.
Man.
What are we talking about again?
right. And Lee,
Plucks out one of her purple ones.
beautiful. He ties those together, and he basically sort of wraps them almost around his finger, and he's sort of just wrapping it and sort of just pulling in, reading down, pulls some script straight out of the book almost, wraps it in, and it almost becomes greenish, and he tries to form it into, basically, it's kind of almost like he's smelting a key out of the ether. And one more. Where do I go? I went the other way. Oops. Lily, one more, please.
Fine.
And he's shaking. He's struggling to keep this sort of, and it's sort of
Here.
sparking, and he kind of inserts it in, sort of thing, and it just sort of like almost flares. It flares green, and it sort of almost gives this little rainbow sparks as it sort of just flashes through, and he kind of compresses it, and then he snaps it shut, opens his hands wide, and it becomes this sort of almost like this spectral, gigantic sort of one of those big skeleton keys sort of thing. And he's going to dump, I guess, a significant amount of glamour into this. Storyteller, what's my role? Wait, no, there's something. Wait, whistling. I forgot. I almost forgot. I need you all to whistle.
I'm not a very good whistler.
That's okay.
I'm tongue-tied.
Is it?
He hums on McDonald's farm pretty much pretty good.
Come on, let's put it up. Hit me with your best shot. And double punt. And
Okay, so now
was
the
terrible.
mechanics. It's going to require that everybody spends a point of glamour. And
Okay.
then, Donovan, you are rolling Wayfare plus nature. So you have an affinity for that. So your
Yes, I
10's
do.
double.
Question for the storyteller. Have
yes.
we recovered our glamour since Halloween?
Yes. Yeah, you're all at full glamour and full willpower. So
Sounds good.
you are all now down one glamour. So
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 glamour means okay. Plus the bunk. It's going to sound really fun, but 3s or better.
and
However,
10's double.
And 10's double. You need a significant number of successes.
How's 7 sound?
That is significant enough. You needed 6. Less
I
than
got 2
6 and
10s,
things.
baby.
6
Yeah.
or anything less, and things would have gone bad. Okay, so you all whistle. You all feel you're pushing energy towards the door. You're thinking about the doors opening to the trod. Donovan is doing his wonderful, intricate and interesting wizardly manipulations, and these huge gray double doors seem to become more gray. They seem to epitomize the word gray. And around the edges, underneath, these are shop doors. They're not meant to seal hermetically. There's always a little bit of light coming in if there's light outside. It's around sunset. There's not much light coming in outside. But now the doors almost seem to be outlined by kind of a shadowy gray light. It's as if there is a brighter light on the opposite side of those doors.
Showtime.
So we're going into the trot. That's what's going on.
Did it work? Is that what it's supposed to look like?
Just open it. He's getting kind of really excited.
And sort of just summons in and sort of brings in, almost like the whistles become almost a physical manifestation of a note. The notes themselves almost sort of spread from the breath of each whistler and become actually almost like a physical representation of an actual musical note. And Donovan takes each one out of the other and sort of mashes them all in together and kind of expands them quickly, throws them one into each corner of the doors on the outside and 2 into the center, so that they're basically out 4 by 4 of the 2 double doors, and then just pushes and forces his own glamour into forcing the doors open.
And with that push, the doors start to swing outward. And it is brighter outside than sunset should lead you to expect. You'd also expect, if those doors open normally, there would be some parking lot, then some highway, then some kind of industrial land where, you know, ships used to unload and offload and a few other things. There's not. There is what looks like, from where you're standing and sitting, a gray sky, a kilometer or so of gray beach, and then Lake Ontario, maybe. Now, again, from where you're sitting, there's low scrub. Now, from where you're sitting, there looks to be kind of a pathway or roadway, kind of like a dirt road that goes straight ahead. And when it hits the lake, it continues out on what looks like a causeway. It looks like some distance out along that causeway. It doesn't, I mean, on a clear day, you can stand on the beaches of Toronto and see buffalo. You can see across Lake Ontario. The curve of the world is not that tight. You can see out there some distance. You're not too sure how far, 5, 10, 15 kilometers, 20 kilometers. It's about 45 kilometers across the lake at this point, but somewhere out there, there looks to be a structure of some sort at the end of that causeway. And the further it might be, the bigger it's going to be. You just cannot tell from scale. To the sides of this kind of dirt road area, where it isn't gray, ashy looking beach, there are scraggly shrubs that come about knee high, maybe thigh high tops. Nothing is large, nothing is green. Everything is different shades of gray. You can see 1 or 2 spindly trees that are leafless, that again are gray barked.
This is all wrong. It's not supposed to be like this.
Did something happen to the trot, or
You mean
wait, is that Lake Ontario?
colorless?
It's not supposed to be like this. It's supposed to have color. Oh no, what is going on?
You think this has something to do with our friend that's sucking away all the glamour from this place?
Maybe. Oh no, what's happened to town? That guy,
Well, I mean,
worse than I thought.
It looks like it's a really far way to walk. Storyteller, have our segways turned into anything? Like, I don't know, maybe horses?
You haven't actually entered the trod yet. The segways are still in the room with you, behind you.
Right, sorry.
Should we make our way in? Donovan, are you okay?
Yeah.
Wait,
Sorry.
hello.
Yeah. No, this is really upsetting.
'Cause, I mean, if that person is siphoning the glamour away from any of the films, and the trot is here,
But he couldn't get into the trot though.
I mean, well,
This is coming
no,
from the inside.
but maybe there's
So,
still like that little bit of energy
town?
that's seeping through.
Town. There's something. Oh, that
But, well, I mean, 'cause
mayor.
you said there was something wrong with the mayor.
Oh,
I
mayor.
I bet it. I swear it.
Or-
This is mayor's doing. We have to stop him. All right. Bottom goes, gets his segue. Onwards.
Lee follows
So you're
suit.
just gonna ride your Segway in there?
Why not?
Ken's just sort of like hanging
guess.
back for a sec. Okay, I thought
is
we were
this?
going to do something, but I guess we're doing something else. And then we'll follow
This
everybody.
looks
What's
weird,
the segue
right,
turn
Ken?
into?
I think it looks weird.
The segways don't change.
Whoa.
They are still segways in the dreaming. Weirdly, they are still working in the dreaming. As you enter the dreaming, however, it's like any other time entering the dreaming, which means your voil appears and your fey mean appears, yourself. Now there are just because we may have new viewers, we're going to go really quickly around and allow everyone to describe their voil again, because there are 2 people, one who we've never had describe their voil, and the second one who kind of looks different every time. So I'm going to kind of go on my screen, so it's completely random. Let's start with Alette. What do you look like once you step into the dreaming, Alette?
Perfect.
Thank you. That's excellent. No words need be said. Okay. And you can't see it on camera, but a tail would also slide out of the back of whatever she's wearing. And much like a cat's tail, it is used to denote emotional state. Pen, what do you look like on the other side?
So Penn is dressed very practically, trousers with boots, and the sort of little artist pack that they have slung over the shoulder now has set sort of like a mini easel and paints. Their hair is sort of autumn colors that sort of cascades down their shoulders, and fair face has this sort of purple blush and freckles that are shaped like stars. As well as her purple eyes that are a little bit more vibrant than they are in the regular world outside of the dreaming.
Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you. Lee, what does Lee look like when she steps into the dreaming?
Lee is head to toe, from like her flesh to her coat to even the leggings that she's wearing. This iridescent sort of turquoisey, tealy blue with edgings of like purple that are similar to her hair, which is a bit more vibrant than it is. Her jacket is also definitely covered in the same scales that her body is in. She's got also intense blue eyes.
Wonderful. Lily, tell us about you and how you look and your hair.
Let's see. How does Lily look? Well, as everyone can see, I've already got big curly hair, but for Lily, it's like much more, so much more. Like, I think how I described it once is kind of like Bob Ross times 10, but it's just, or like, I don't know, a couple of drag queen wigs stacked on top of each other. just a lot. It's a lot. It's what it is. And kind of maybe sort of ruddier looking skin, maybe a little more shadows in the cheeks, more green eyes. And then clothing is like some sort of legging looking hose type things, knee-high boots, a sort of blousey long shirt, forget if I already said a knee-length skirt over top that, and then like a leather suede kind of bustier thing, and a trusty starry blue bag full of mystery that goes everywhere.
Lara,
and a stick.
Good timing on that hair.
It's my walking stick.
And it's stick. Lara, before you describe yourself, could you roll me your willpower, please? And you're trying to get 8s, 9s, and 10s.
Only 2 successes.
Okay, you still don't have it quite under control, so you still look like somebody else. Who do you look like when you step through?
I just rolled a die. I look like Pen, except with red hair.
Darn, I was hoping for a female Donovan with red hair, because that would
would've been
weird
awesome.
out everybody. Yeah.
Like,
That would've been
oh
amazing.
God.
No,
Oh,
I think
God.
Lara's, even though she doesn't have it under control, I think she wouldn't give him the satisfaction.
Oh,
No. And you know what? You bond to your motley. So those are the ones you're going to reflect. However, whether it's the glamour in this area, and you can all feel it, there's something really wrong here, or something that's going on in the area. You've still got the vibrant, bright red hair. You look very much like Pan, but your skin tone almost matches the beach.
we're in a black and white movie.
Well, that's
Just about.
concerning.
So I look less
And
dazzling.
finally, last but not least, for the first time, Donovan, what do you look like on the other side of the dreaming?
Tall, even more broad-chested, chiseled, very pointed ears, very dimples, just this like he'd been sort of bathed in glitter by cherubs that just flew by him. Sort of, they're just like this. He almost has an aura, but it's muted, I guess. So it's sort of, he's not as he's impressive. He's just not as impressive because of what's going on around us. But definitely, dark haired. He kind of looks almost the same as he did on the other side, just with ears. And he's wearing studded leather armor. He's got his poofy shirt sort of thing. It's basically like he walked out of a Renaissance fair, complete with a gold circlet.
Well, aren't you fancy? Lara mutters this
Okay.
under her breath, obviously.
Damn.
These are
I'm trying
made
to
of
remember.
angels.
Hold on, I just have to.
It's because the circlet, isn't it? I don't know. I'm getting Twilight vibes, glitter.
Kind of a
everywhere.
little. It's sort of like this anywhere he turns sort of thing. There's just a little bit of either
shoot,
it's like
it's bright.
backlighting or reflective, like water, like the
It's
sun
like he
on
has
the
a
water.
It's like he has a
Sort
starburst filter on his camera,
There we go.
basically.
Right.
Yeah, kind
Or
of.
is it the RuPaul Vaseline effect?
From like season 1.
And he almost looks up at, and everybody's sort of looking at him, and he kind of sort of rolls his eyes up. It's like, oh, yeah, that. Viscount or something. I don't know. Point is, it doesn't matter. This is just really upsetting. Okay, so he almost seems distracted. So starts rolling.
Okay.
Kind
So
of muttering to
you're,
himself a
you're
little.
rolling out onto the causeway. The causeway's broad, probably half a kilometer wide, give or take a little bit.
Jeez.
It takes you, like I said, it's about a kilometer or two down this kind of, call it a beach for the want of a better word, but these are not the kinds of soft sands you want to lay back on and take in some sun. And again, you don't really see the sun. The skies are gray. It's almost like a massively cloudy day, but it's still brighter than as if it were a massively cloudy day. The lake to either side is just flat like a mirror, but again, very gray. And you're on this kind of lane and a half dirt road. There are tracks, so it's almost as if stuff has traveled up and down here before. There's nothing growing in them right now, but from what you can tell from the foliage on both sides, that still might be years since something tread up and down here, because that is not really healthy looking flora. And you trundle on at a little more than a walking pace for about 10 minutes or so. You're out onto the causeway, and ahead and to the left, you can see some of the shrubs and bushes move. Like there's something down there.
There's a something.
Donovan's sort of looking ahead. Doesn't see it.
To your left.
Lee's gonna look.
It's a bush.
It moved.
We're not in Kansas anymore, Lily.
Okay, so for
Nor
those
we-
of you
I know
looking,
that.
for
Well,
those
I
of you
mean,
looking,
This sure looks like that movie.
a small orange furred kitten's head sticks out from the, very visible against the gray, sticks out, and he goes, meow.
Wait, does it say the word meow or is it meow? making changes.
Only one of you would be able to tell that.
Meow.
Oh no.
Now, did
What?
you just talk at it in cat, Alette?
I did.
Because what you heard was not cat. What you heard was someone saying meow.
Hello.
And as you guys trundle a little closer, it kind of looks up and says, "Does Mumther have food for us?" And from the other side, there's a little rustle in the bushes.
No,
You
no,
do
no,
hear,
no, no.
Mumther does not have food. Mumther does not care. She would see us starve.
No, no, no. You get out of here. No, no.
You look hungry.
I
Did
give them
anybody
something
bring
out of
any
my
food?
pocket.
And the orange kitten slithers out of the ferns a little more. And it slithers because the head is a little furry kitten head. The body is about 2.5 foot of centipede.
Nah.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, no.
It's a Cheshire cat.
This was
Let's go.
cute.
Step
This
it-
is cute.
nope.
I'm out. Nope. No. Bye.
Nope.
From the other
Segs.
side, a black kitten's head pokes up, and you can see that it's obviously on chitinous shoulders with kind of, and it's got 7 eyes on each side from kind of here down to the cheek. And its mouth opens, really lots of sharp little teeth, and it says, "Mumther would see us starve. Mumther has no food for us. We must take the food."
Nope. Keep
Bye.
moving. Just move.
Go.
Mr.
Oh
Osgood,
my God,
is
do
this
these go
supposed to be
faster?
here? Are they supposed to be here?
I
They were
don't
here
know
when I
any of
came
this
here
is
last
supposed to
time.
be here. It's all
What
wrong.
do you eat?
Yeah, no, just
Every-
move.
is
Everybody,
Don't even engage.
everybody roll me a Dex plus.
Great.
Nah.
Freaking great.
X plus
Um,
what?
A Dex plus athletics, please.
Oh,
You only
yeah.
need you only need 6s and above.
Storyteller,
cat-like
does my
reflexes-
specialty count?
Cat-like reflexes does indeed count. Yes,
Whee!
cat-like reflexes doubles your 10s.
Good.
2 successes. from Pippa.
4.
3. 3.
5.
2 9s and an 8.
Sorry, it was 7 and above?
6
Six.
and above.
Yeah.
8 6.
3 successes.
With my double, I got a 4.
Okay, 3 is the least of the successes, and that's still good enough not to tilt or knock over your segue, because all of you do that little bit more lean forward and gun it a bit. Segways are not made to be gunned, but they're still faster than tiny little strange insectoid felinoids on whatever they're walking on. So everybody hurries along, and there's a little jostling and bumping in 1 or 2 cases, because this is not a nice flat surface, but nobody spills and nobody tilts over, which is actually a really excellent thing. So I applaud all of you on slipping past that one really nice and quickly, darn it. And this looks like a great place to take a break as you're halfway up the causeway and aiming for what is appearing in the distance like a huge walled something. So viewers, stick with us. Give us about 5 to 7 minutes. Go dehydrate, rehydrate, prohydrate, whatever you do with hydration. Grab yourself some snacks. Snacks are always important. And we will return to be back with you shortly, where we find out what the Motley finds at the end of the yellow brick, well, kind of gray sandy road.
Paint your sky in phthalo blue and a alizarin crimson. cadmium yellow, sienna and vermilion. Make it any way you want, 'cause it's your world in the end. Paint yourself a little tree and give it a little friend. Pick the colors that you like, held together on your brush. If you don't like it, you can try again, there is no rush. You don't need to justify, you got nothing to defend. Know that there is nothing wrong with having a tree as a friend. You can do what you want, just make it passionate. There are no mistakes, just happy accidents. Just use your imagination any way you please. This is your creation, so build it as you see. Seek out new sensations, or sail the seven seas. You're the only one to please. To be a happy little tree. We're all happy little trees. While we're swaying in the breeze, we're all happy little trees. Paint your world in Prussian blue. Give yourself a big bright sky. Add some white and burnt umber, and give your world highlights. You're the creator of this world. Find your freedom on its canvas. Make a small room of your own, or dream up entire planets. You can do what you want, just make it passionate. There are no mistakes, just happy accidents. Just use your imagination any way you please. This is your creation, so build it as you see. Seek out new sensations. your sky in phthalo blue, and alizarin crimson, swirls of cadmium yellow, sienna and vermilion. Make it any way you want, 'cause it's your world in the end. Paint yourself a little tree and give it a little friend. Pick the colors that you like, held together on your brush. If you don't like it, you can try again, there is no rush. You don't need to justify, you got nothing to defend. Know that there is nothing wrong with having a tree as a friend.
And welcome back, folks. Thank you for joining us again in the second half of this interesting episode where the Motley have made it through the door into the trod and not found what they expected, but have found some very interesting things, several of which they have sped past on their segways and are racing away from currently as we speak. And as you can feel the oppression here. And as I've mentioned before, there's something weird going on with the glamour. You can feel it. Your voiles look fine, but everything is gray and strange. And now that you've met the first denizens of this wonderful little strange corner of the dreaming, I would like everyone to roll your glamour. Remember, you're all -1, your current glamour minus your banality, and you're getting 5s and up.
Wait. So your current glamour dice, but then
Yes.
minus
your banality.
minus the number. So this, if I had dice for the banality, so that'd be, I have 0. I have nothing to roll now.
Hang on a second. Let me find your character sheet, Lily. You've got 3 glamour and 3 banality. So yeah, you're not rolling anything.
Nope.
You said 5
I
and up?
failed.
Yes.
2 successes.
Okay.
I rolled a 10. I don't know if that does anything,
Yeah,
but
no,
I
that's
only
good.
have 1.
I had a single die and I rolled a 1.
Ooh.
Have 3 10s, a 6 and a 9.
Jeez.
Goodness.
Okay, hang on.
Wow.
The
You
dice
need to
are
just
rolling in
subtract your
Kitty's favor.
No, actually, you should only roll 1 dice, Kitty,
1.
because your
okay.
glamour is 4 minus your banality of 3.
Damn, because that would have been an amazing roll.
Right.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, somebody's been sucking back the glamour pretty hard.
I have a 10.
Nice.
That's good enough. Lee, you're muted.
Muted.
6s and up.
5s and up.
Oh, 2 successes.
Perfect. Okay. Those of you who got no successes will take a point of temporary nightmare.
Oh no.
Eek.
Whoa.
Yipe.
I don't know what that does.
Oh, you'll find out.
Oh no.
Oh, that's
Go to
so that's so
sleep.
reassuring. Thank
I
you,
hate
storyteller.
this.
May I have another?
When it comes into play, mechanically speaking, you'll find out. When you go to sleep, you'll find out.
I'm excited.
Oh boy.
Mainly because I won't be here forever. So
Actually, on this side of the trod door, you might just be here forever.
Uh-oh.
not if I have anything to say about it.
Okay, so you're segueing along. You're continuing.
Come on, Scooby Gang.
Again,
You gotta mystery solve.
segues aren't like incredibly fast. Every now and then you'll see the shrubbery and the ferns to the sides kind of There's a little movement here and there. There are obviously other things in there. I'm expecting you're pretty focused on just everybody just stare straight ahead and keep motoring.
I mean, it might not be one of those things.
Figure you're doing, I'm not sure what a Segway does for speed, 15, 20 kilometers an hour. They're not super fast. They are quicker than walking. But if you're looking at about 15, 20 kilometers an hour, you're looking at actually a little more than an hour on the Segway to get to the end of the causeway. And when you reach the end of the causeway, there is beach going to either side again, probably about half a kilometer of beach before you see the wall. The wall looks to be about 30 meters tall, about the height of a 25-story building. It's cement, maybe something. It feels like stone, but it definitely is not stones. It's not bricks. It is a smooth surface.
This wasn't
It
here.
is grayish white.
Completely smooth?
And
Like there's
it
no,
nope, completely smooth. And
Weird.
it goes to the left and the right with an obvious curve, but not a fast curve. So you got to figure it's probably if there's an inside to it, depending on how thick it is. The inside is several kilometers across. The diameter's got to be a number of kilometers.
I mean, out of character, I can't remember who else it has verdant reclamation, but we can make things that grow out of the ground and give ourselves something to climb on, maybe. Does that sound
Turn a tree into a ladder.
basically?
I can do that.
Yeah.
This wasn't here.
Is this not town?
This is town. But this wall wasn't here.
Well, we're gonna
So
get
there's-
into town.
but there's no like nothing that looks like any sort of entry or impression or
Gate, portcullis.
anything.
Give me a perception plus alertness, please. 7s and up.
Love to. That is my speciality.
Hooray.
Would my insightful apply?
Yes.
Is that a roll for all of us?
Any of you that would like to.
Perception and
Nope.
Alertness.
I already forgot what I needed to be.
2 successes.
7s and up.
Oh, 2.
This is a wall. This is a big wall.
So what did you get, Alette?
3.
Thank you.
5 successes from Penn.
1. I rolled terribly.
Damn. Donovan, it's a wall.
I'm more worried about
Um,
the fact that there's a wall here. There's a wall
And
there.
it's oppressive.
Probably, a couple of 100 meters to your right. So kind of anti-clockwise or widdershins along on the beach. You could see what looks like a flat rise. And as you kind of stroll over to get a closer look at it, it looks like a slight, like a cement lip, like would be around a well, and a big manhole cover, metal manhole cover in the middle of it.
Penn's like, I think we might have an entrance, but it's probably going to be gross. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's more caterpillars down there. Someone stronger than me want to lift this?
Sure. What you need?
Okay.
There's a manhole cover. And
It's-
if I know
it's-
manhole
it's a
covers
heavy
in Toronto,
piece
they're
of
real
steel.
heavy.
Yeah, give me a strength
Cast
plus
iron usually. Ooh.
plus athletics, please. And 7s are up.
And this is my wheelhouse.
It's steel, not iron, just to confirm.
Yes, it is steel, not iron.
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
That'll be 3 successes.
That's what you need. It's a little
Yeah.
tough because getting the angle on it and getting your fingers into it and stuff. But there's that grinding metal on stone sound, and you pull it up and then thump as you let it land on the ground beside you. Looking down, it looks to be about 6 feet or so down, and then it opens out into what looks like a cement corridor, perhaps. It's not a sewer so much as it does appear to be lit down there. You can see, and not just from the light coming from above. And there's, those wonderful little ladders that are made of the rungs that are stuck right in the wall. Those go down to about, looks to be maybe 4 or 5 feet off the ground. So there'll be a little bit of a jump as you go down.
Does anybody have a light or something that can cast light?
I mean, it looks lit down there.
Cast light. What do I look like? Imagine. Wait. What? Hold on.
Well, now wait a minute. If the segways came in and didn't change, would anybody's cell phone come in and not change?
Check your
Finds the
cell
flash.
phones.
Checks for flashlight.
They're working. There is no signal.
Flashlight out.
And
Yeah, but that.
you've been in here for hour and a half. Your batteries are down about half of what you think they should be.
Hmm.
Something's drawing the power.
Definitely.
Coming in here seems to have burned down the battery a lot. But it still works.
I really don't like this.
Nope.
Pen's like, I guess I could be the first one in the door.
I could also, I mean,
Why don't we
it's
make
fine.
the taller one go down?
Personally, I would vote Edward Cullen over here, but you know.
This is all wrong. I don't recognize this at all. This is okay. Hold on.
I mean, in all fairness, you're like the only one here that's practically made out of like sunshine. So
Like cherubs just like
You're all
doused you in
flattering
it.
me, and it's working. But I want to do something first.
Sir.
I no longer trust this place. I was looking forward to coming in here because it was green and verdant and wonderful.
Suddenly looks like the first part of Wizard of Oz.
Or Nightmare Before Christmas, one of the two.
Halloween Town.
So before
Mm.
I do anything, and he sort of, Donovan concentrates, and he sort of wraps his hand sort of thing, draws out a green thread, and sort of arcs it, twists it in the air to make it sort of something, and kind of molds it into almost like a globe, and then sort of washes it over himself, and you see basically almost Lord of the Rings-esque sort of like that sylvan elf armor, like the head sort of thing down with the gilded shoulder blade, the shoulder pauldrons, the chest plate, and everything else. And the armor is basically sort of glowingish, greenish, but transparent. I learned that in a book.
You gonna be able to fit down there with all that?
Oh yeah, it's just it's resistant. Would you like some?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Maybe. I like to be tougher.
Maybe, probably.
So storyteller, what do I roll for that?
Need one of mine?
That is what I am checking. And
Maybe
actually,
mine.
no, you can't give it to someone else.
No.
Nope.
Eh.
Give me a moment here.
Well, I'll try anyway and fail.
Eh.
Give me a second here.
He tries it with her own.
Just try. Still a hair. What the hell? Boink, boink,
There we
boink,
go.
boink.
It snaps. Oh. So we get for a box die.
Mm.
So you're going to roll your chicanery and yeah, Faye, because you're affecting yourself. And you're going to need 7s and up.
Faye. Chicanery. 4 successes.
Okay, so yeah, it solidifies around you. Actually, okay, that cost a glamour.
Oh well.
If you want to do it for anyone else, you would do the same roll, and it would cost you a glamour to do to someone else as well.
Ooh.
I'm happy to stick in behind you.
Same.
Yeah, you can just be in front all the time.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I'm used to being.
I mean, after all, anybody that's in this place will probably recognize you first.
Yeah, that's what I'm also worried
True.
about. I don't want to get you guys in the line of fire.
Well, we'll just say we're
Yeah,
not.
okay.
We came in after you, but we don't know you. How does that sound?
So
We
good.
met along the way.
So great. Backing me up 100%. Got my
Yep.
6.
We do just, you know.
All right, let's do this. And Donovan hops on the ladder. And like, I really hope this isn't gross. And he does that sort of feet on the outside and sort of slides down.
Okay, again, there's no ladder. It's
Oh, there's no ladder?
it's no,
No,
it's
it's
the
like those weird
U-shaped
bars
rungs
that are like
in the wall.
in the.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the bar rungs in the wall.
Okay. I guess I'll climb down the bar rungs then.
Okay. You get to the bottom rung, which is, like I said, about 4 feet, 4 feet off the floor. You're going to need to jump. But you're now just below the level of the ceiling, and you can see it's a broad hallway that goes towards the wall and away from the wall.
Is it a sewer?
And it
Oh.
seems to be a cement hallway about 15, 20 feet wide, about 12 foot tall. It's lit, but it's indirect lighting. You're not sure where the lighting is coming from.
Well, the good news is there's no sewage.
Well, that's good.
The bad news is you got to do a little jump on the bottom.
Are there any cat or pillars?
I don't see any. It's lit.
Lee's gonna climb down next.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna climb down
basically
as well.
hop down.
Okay. As you hop down, roll me your current glamour minus banality.
I have no dice.
You're just trying to get.
Okay. Roll me 1 dice, and you have to get 8, 9, or 10.
All of us, or just
Well, a 3 is not an 8, 9, or a 10.
Yeah, just him. Now, is anyone looking down, or are you all just climbing down?
That's just climbing down.
Just Lily's just looking so far.
yeah, Pan's gonna have a look over and sort of like duck fair head down and sort of like look down the hallway.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Okay, so the
Not gonna climb
the
down.
ladder's
She's gonna
the
jump
ladder's
down,
kind of
hopefully lands like a cat.
yeah, the ladder's kind of getting crowded because Donovan jumps. Lee is now pretty much at the last one. Penn is like right above you and getting there. Lily, you watch and you can kind of see motion and stuff. Lee and Penn, give me an alertness plus perception. And insight does not apply this time. Lily, you give me the same.
Which?
For Lee and Pan, it is 8s and up because you're not paying attention. Lily, you get 7s, 6s and up because you are looking. Just people are in the way.
So what two things? 2 stats?
Perception,
Right.
plus alertness.
Okay. Do I notice anything? And you said 6s and
Yes.
a 9 and a 10. So 2.
Okay.
Or
You
successes
think
from
something looks weird as you're seeing everyone kind of crowding the ladder and getting down there. Lee, something's off suddenly. You get to the bottom of the ladder and something is off. Penn, Donovan jumped and there are no sounds of feet hitting the floor.
Don't like that.
That was weird.
Something's not right. Penn, don't jump down yet.
Yeah,
something just happened?
I'm up here. I'm just looking. I'm like, I've got my head sort of like tucked in, and I'm sort of like doing that little kid thing where you look down and you're looking upside down at it down the hallway.
Storyteller, but we heard Donovan saying that bit about it's fine and stuff like that, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
You heard Donovan say that no, there were no caterpillars. Everything looked okay. There's no sewage, just a bit of a jump.
But we heard that before he jumped.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Lee, what do you see down there? Anything?
Storyteller. I see.
It is a big empty hallway. Extends to both directions, to the left and the right, towards and under the wall from the look of the distance, and going the other way, it also recedes off into the distance. And below you, there is no Donovan.
Um,
Can I
Donovan?
see Lee?
Donovan? Hello. Hello.
It's got that kind of echoey cement sound that you get in big cement spaces.
Is he not down there?
I don't see him. For the record, I totally jumped.
You jumped? Okay.
I
would
did
like you,
say that out loud.
Oh,
oops.
sorry. I didn't
Sorry.
hear that. During the jump, I would like your current glamour minus your current banality, please. And 8s, 9s, or 10s.
Woo! 1.
Okay, you land on the floor.
Did
I
I
look up
see?
and I look
'Cause
up.
I've been watching this whole time as I see them go
Yep.
down the ladder.
Same.
Did I see Lee land?
Yes, you see Lee land.
And did I hear the sound of Lee
Splash.
landing?
Yes. Yep. You hear her feet meet the cement floor.
She like plaids a bit in the actual like water for a little bit.
No,
Y'all
no,
can
there's
hear
no
that,
water.
right?
No.
There is no
Oh.
water.
Well,
Yeah.
making
It's just
footsteps in
cement
the echoey walls, just clunk, 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 clunk.
Yeah,
You can
I
hear that,
don't-
right?
I didn't hear Donovan's feet touch the ground.
Me neither. Something's not right here.
Gosh, this is weird.
And he's not down there, Lee?
From what I could see, that's a nope there, storyteller.
Nope.
Nope.
I'm sorry. This does not sound right. Do you guys do we want to go back upstairs and maybe like try
Well, I
a
haven't.
different way?
Lily hasn't gone down at all.
I also
Yeah,
wanted
neither
to
can.
add that Alette didn't use the ladder. She jumped down and was
Just-
hoping to land on her feet like a cat.
Okay, straight up jump. Then I would like you to roll your current glamour minus your current banality. 8s, 9s, and 10s, please.
8.
1, 8. Okay, so you see Alette just drop, and she lands with all the grace of a feline.
Wow.
Hmm.
I still see Alette.
A little softer, but I could hear the footsteps. What happened to Donovan? I don't like this.
Something is.
Well, there's a
This
tunnel
is
going
wrong.
under the wall, and then there's one going back behind us.
Is it going back towards like the studio?
Kind of in that direction, yes.
The
I would say
direction
so,
we
yeah.
came?
I would say so, yeah. It's going back. to
Sort
where we
of,
came,
yes.
ish.
Do you think someone made their own alternate exit to entrance to the Trod?
Maybe our friend who,
The glamour sink?
yeah, glamour vacuum, if you will.
Hmm.
This could lead right to him if that's the case.
Well,
Yeah, but
do we
where did
wanna-
Donovan go?
That's a good question. Do we want to go
We
to town
find
or do we
out-
want to go back the way we came?
Okay, Pen, you're still on the ladder. Lily,
I'm
you're
just
still
looking
up
down.
top. Lara,
Yeah.
where are you?
Lara was with Lily. She hadn't crawled down yet.
Yeah, Pen's not
Okay.
on the ladder. Pen's like sort of like over top of the manhole cover, like looking down into it, but not like on the ladder.
Hmm.
I don't know. Does it seem safe down there, Lee? And Alette? Does it seem
There's
safe?
nothing down
There's
here
nothing
except
here.
us. There's no water. It's not gross.
I mean, can you come? Here's the question, though. Here's the biggest question. Can you come back up?
I'm gonna give it a try.
Okay. Lily and Lara, if you could please roll me perception plus alertness, 7s and up.
That is one success.
2.
2's good enough. About, I don't know, 20, 30 feet behind you, you can hear rustling in the ferns.
Laura.
I think we might have to go down, maybe.
There's
what?
there's a something.
Don't tell me.
I don't want to know.
I don't either.
Okay, so we're stuck between we're stuck between a fern and a hard place. Really, like it's
Boy.
because I don't know if I want to go down there. I mean, if Donovan disappeared, we might disappear too. Just because Lee and
Well, we don't know where
What?
he went.
Well, I mean, only one way to find out.
yeah.
I hate this, but we gotta go.
Leap of faith. We got you down here.
Ah,
Pen's gonna start crawling down the ladder.
Okay.
Lily's gonna go after Penn.
Yeah, and Lara's gonna crawl down last and kind of peek up over as she's,
Okay.
coming down
So,
to see
Pen,
what's coming at her.
you get to that last rung.
I've got a jump and a jump.
Okay, so your current glamour minus banality, please. 8s, 9s, and 10s.
It's cocked. That is an 8.
Okay, so you land on the floor just fine. Lara, as you're kind of watching over you see more rustling of things, and you can hear something say, "Mother, I would like a cuddle, please. I am lonely."
Okay, I am going. Lee, Alette, Pen. I'm going down. Lily, get down. Don't. No.
Yep,
Bad things.
I'm going.
Okay, Lily, if you could roll your current glamour minus banality, please, and 8s, 9s, or 10s.
I cannot because they cancel each other.
Right. Okay, so everybody's watching as everybody else starts to trundle down. Lily lets go of the last rung and halfway to the floor disappears.
Ah,
And it's a weird disappear. It's almost like a computer image that pauses, flickers, and dereses.
Oh,
What?
damn.
What does Lily see? Or you're not gonna tell yet?
I can't tell you yet.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I mean,
okay.
could use chat
get
while we're
that.
figuring stuff out.
We'll get to me.
Yep. Yep.
We'll get to that.
I believe that's what happened to Donovan.
I mean, no offense, but Donovan isn't one of us. We just lost Lily.
Well,
Look, if we go
then-
back now, we're not going to be able to find her. At this point, we got to keep moving forward.
You're
and
still
there's
on the ladder,
caterpillars
Lara.
right behind us.
What,
Yeah,
caterpillars are back?
I'm assuming I'm rolling the only 2 dice that I have for this.
So your current glamour minus banality
Yeah.
gives you 2 dice. 8,
Yeah.
9s, and 10s, please.
Yeah, I already rolled. I have 1 9.
Okay, so you land on the floor too.
Okay, she's there. Does everyone else see her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then Lee's going to point down the way that leads under the wall. And into
Alright.
town.
Into town we go.
Okay, I'm going to give you a storyteller common sense hint. Splitting your party right now is not smart.
Okay.
Oh no, I wasn't.
So
yeah.
if you decide to walk into town, you can do this. There will be consequences and you will all add nightmares.
Okay.
because you are basically abandoning Lily. And
So-
Donovan is a little different, but Lily is part of your motley. And
Okay.
you have just decided to abandon her. That will result in nightmares.
Okay. I personally don't want to abandon Lily, but I don't know what to do.
Same. 'Cause I
Is,
thought going forward and finding out what the thing is and the monster thing is was going to solve that. That's what I thought.
This
Just train of thought.
I,
is there something that Penn
That's
might
why
have,
that's why I give you a little common sense hint.
is
Okay.
is there something that Penn might have encountered in one of her many lives that like keys to that sort of like glitch type thing where they just disappear?
Ooh, glitch. Now there's an interesting one. Glitch.
And I think Alette was trying to say something as well.
Yeah, I'll let go for it.
I was gonna suggest we climb back up that ladder and just try jumping down to see if we vanish off into no man's land or something. Go the way she went.
Alette, you know what's up there? More of those like spider
Well, no,
cat
we don't have to go all the way back up.
there.
We can go up a
Yeah.
few little things and try to jump back down. And hopefully we
guess.
land in the same place as everybody else.
I mean, she's not wrong at this point. It's we don't want to leave Lily.
I mean,
Oh.
are we leaving her behind, or are they just behind a veil or something?
What if
That's
they're
kind of Ben's like,
Ken,
There has
with
to be something.
your gray mare and intelligence of 6, I'm going to give you a V5. Half successes is 3, which would, you're not sure. You might have, it's not necessarily something to do strictly with the changelings, but you might have heard something like this a while ago, and Alette's idea of climbing and jumping makes a whole lot of sense. Because
Someone
it's
wanna
got to
give me
do
a
with a
boost?
jump or a trip.
someone want to give me a boost?
Lee gets into position.
No, I'm gonna climb back up, and then I'm gonna climb back down. I'm gonna jump.
Okay, roll me your glamour minus banality again, only this time 9s and 10s.
Four.
Glamour minus banality?
Oh, it was just a 4 on the die.
Oh, a 4 on the die. Okay,
Yes.
sorry, I was hearing 4 successes. I'm like, wait,
No,
what?
I rolled.
A
I rolled
4?
a 4. I only
Okay.
have 1 die.
So she goes up, she comes back down to the last rung, she jumps, and the same thing that happened to Lily. She kind of stutters in the air, freezes, and disappears.
Alette, you might be onto
Pen
something.
freezes in the thumbs up position.
Right. Alette hops on those little bars, climbs on up. Let's go.
Okay, glamour minus banality, 9s and 10s.
7.
1 7?
Mhm.
Not good enough. So Alette joyfully bounces up onto the ladder because, well, Alette's a feline and she likes doing stuff like this. Scampers halfway up, let's go, and in a beautiful somersault dive, just below the low rung, stutters and disappears.
All right, I'm gonna do this last, and then she's gonna pop a squat and do the whole like lifting thing, and just
we do it together. We don't leave. We don't leave it. We'll jump on the count of 3. So let's get
I'll
up.
boost you up, and
Yep.
yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. So we're gonna get up on the ladder then, storyteller, and I just rolled. I have a 2 and a 4, so I'm gonna say to Lee. So on 1, 2, 3, jump.
Okay, and Lee, your glamour minus banality, what did you roll?
Yeah, no successes whatsoever.
Okay, there's no one there to see you both disappear. However,
mean,
when you both
Lee grabs
land,
Lara's hands, just
and this is, I'm going to use them as an example for everyone else's landing as well. When you both land, you land on carpet. There's Donovan. There's the rest of the motley. You are in a, hang on a second while I get the descriptions as I wrote down. An oppressive, it looks like an empty office space. The walls are yellow beige, the floors are yellow beige. There is the incessant, ongoing hum of fluorescent lights overhead. It feels moist. The carpet feels moist. It smells stale. It looks like a 70s kind of 80s office building without windows. And it just kind of goes on. You can see rooms feeding into rooms. There are no hallways. And it goes on in all four directions.
So, Mr. Osgood,
Hi.
Well, we're all in one place again, wherever
Right.
this is. It stinks.
Oop.
And yeah, it kind of has like that grandpa smell.
Went from dark grayish fantasy back to 80s.
Send message to wrong person.
Well, why is the carpet so squishy?
Mm,
I believe it's what they
Uh,
call shag.
I don't know, but I'm glad I'm wearing boots.
Same. Okay. Where do we go from here, I guess?
Directions
here.
stick together.
Yes, stick together.
Always.
This is bad. Because you're all in here now.
Oh, we weren't gonna leave Lily.
We
I
weren't gonna leave
guess
anyone
you're there
behind.
too.
has
This
anybody ever
is-
seen Office Space? Because this feels like Office Space, like that movie. Feels
Yeah,
very
but horror film level.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was horror film level. It was so boring. Their lives were so, and this is what that feels like.
Okay.
I don't know. I like the part where they smash the printer.
This is
Yeah.
You said this is bad. This is bad
is,
as in we're gonna die bad, or
well, I hope not.
Any for your
That would
thoughts,
be really
Osgood?
depressing.
What's going on here?
We just no clipped.
Eh?
Eh,
Yes, like straight through a level. Speed run?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you there.
Only, we're not supposed to be here, and we don't really want to. We don't want to be here. This is,
Suggestions then?
yeah. It's like Office Space, only not funny. Which is kind of saying something all on its own. Yeah, we kind of need to get out of here.
Cool. I guess we pick a
Barely
direction,
understand
stick
how we
together.
got
and
here.
We tripped through something or
That I
fell
don't
through
know.
something.
But
Seems like.
it's
So we basically went through the warp pipe, but didn't get the extra lives that we needed to actually get through the. Okay, yeah, I see.
yeah. Only the monsters are real, and they're gonna kill us, and we don't have fire flower power.
Are there things that can kill us in here?
Also, you'll all note that the armor that he cast on himself is gone.
Hmm.
It was like, yeah, yeah. This is going to literally suck. We need to find a way out of here.
Well, we've established it sucks. Why don't we stop establishing that? Find some way of getting out of here. Maybe there's like a key or like something we can find in the cubicles here. Like there's tons of them here.
So there's no storyteller. There's no windows, but there's like, is it hallways or like what?
Hang on a second, and I will drop a image into the chat. that you can, a link to a person's Twitter image that you can then look at. And this is what you see. Lots and lots of it.
Anyone's played the Stanley Parable, that's what I'm getting.
I feel like it's the inside of a call center that I worked out once.
Yes.
Oh
That is
God,
the
this
stuff
is
of
horrifying.
nightmares.
Oh, weird.
I don't see it.
I don't see it either. I don't.
I haven't gotten it.
Nope.
Hang on a second. Let me see if I can
Oh
find.
God. This is so much worse than I was imagining.
That one. Come on. It annoys me that some of you get the links and some of you don't, because that is no that. Does that give me a picture? Okay, let's see if this picture will show. Oh, that's why I didn't send it to everyone. I only sent it to Donovan. My
Whoops.
Now you
apologies.
great.
And
That's
I'm
that's
wondering,
fine. I can be traumatized, so you don't have to.
there's the picture.
Now
I
everyone
was
can
wondering
share
why
my
no one
pain.
else was getting it. It's like, oh,
Ah,
I can smell this room.
Yes,
right?
yes, you can.
it smells like bleach and
I don't like it.
Not enough
antiseptic.
bleach.
and
Yeah,
like
definitely
weird-
a call center.
Oh my
Definitely a call center. Yep.
and stale
like-
air conditioning.
Mhm.
and
That
yeah.
like weird old carpet smell
Yep.
that
And
just
that
like
fluorescent
never.
cum that just doesn't
I-
go away.
I
We're in
think
a
I've like
liminal
filled up
space.
my banality track just looking at this.
You know they smoked in this
I filled
office
up my
20
personal
years
banality
before,
track just looking at
but
this.
the smoke spell is still there despite having no smoking anymore.
Fun fact, this
Oh.
picture is in a group called Liminal Spaces, and I'm part of that group, and I've seen this picture before. Ew.
Oh, it's horrifying.
Ew.
Ugh.
Blech.
So there's no clear sense of direction in which we should go.
Do we have any way of
Well-
marking where we are?
We had chalk. Do we still have chalk? I have. Wait, no,
Or
I
paint?
have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still have chalk. I can.
I might have a pen.
I've got everything. I've got markers. I've got chalks. I've
Smart.
got paints.
Ah.
I've got acrylics. I got gouache. I've got oils.
We
Let-
could
do you need?
easily
Let's
get
mark
lost in
down
here.
X's on the floor, on the wall, or something like that, so that if we end up coming around in a circle, like I've heard in stories, like you read in books, oh, they've all just gone around in circles, so you mark a spot on the wall just in case you come back around and you get lost.
Yeah.
And stuff.
It's kind of like the Minotaur in Thebes when you with the string. But
Or labyrinth,
Uh,
yeah.
I'll put
Oh.
the
Oh no.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
The labyrinth
Careful,
they kept changing the
what?
map.
they
Yeah.
did. Yeah, just be careful that mark on like across two tiles rather than just centrally in just one.
Out of character, Mike, stop giving Cliff ideas.
He hasn't seen that film.
I do know that there's levels, and it might be part of the reason why we were clipped in here. This operates like a game.
Hmm.
okay.
Like
Well,
we're not gonna run into a minotaur here. We might run into like a
So-
senior
So
executive.
we need to progress through levels. The levels are harder to progress through the higher the level it is.
if it's a game, then let's start mapping it.
Let's play it.
Think about it like Myst. Pen is going to
What-
get out a notebook and it's going to draw out the room that they're in. and it's going to mark in a very specific spot where the X is, and then put the X in a different spot in each of the rooms as they pass through. So room 1, and X is going to be in the northwest corner. We're assuming that there's really no cardinal directions, so I'm just going to pick a north, and that's our north.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask storyteller if there's I don't know, any path or direction in here that I don't know, you know, when you're like kind of trying to get somewhere and you sort of go by feel. Like, does anywhere in this space feel like a place direction to start with?
No.
No.
And Pen, your inability to get lost is kind of, you feel like a compass that is spinning right now. You're somewhere that's not anywhere and you're not liking it.
I don't like this. Would I be able to spend a glamour to try and reorient myself? Is that a possibility?
You don't think that's a smart idea.
Okay.
Well, let's move.
So Pen is going to just pick a direction that she is going to call north, and Faye are going to draw like the first room in their notebook, put the X on the floor in a very specific place, and then have that X in like a specific place in room 1. And then I guess we go this way. If I can't have an orientation, and if I can't have a true north, then I'm just going to make one.
Fair enough.
Seems as good as any. Okay.
But
So
this whole place is very wrong, and my Eshu sense is tingling.
I do not like this smell at all. And the lights.
Everything is real bad. Then we'll
Okay.
move from this room into the next room, and then I'm just going to keep,
So,
as we go, I'm just going to keep mapping, keep putting X's in very specific spots and making sure that they're.
Okay. So the next room is the same as the previous room. The shapes change, the openings change. Sometimes they're wider, sometimes they're narrower. They're not all square rooms. There are L-shaped rooms. There are long rectangular rooms. It's like someone haphazardly set out a business office in the 70s, and it's been abandoned since, but only recently. Down, as you're walking along, anyone who wants to give me an alertness plus perception, 6s and up.
Three successes.
2 successes.
Okay, the 3 see it first, kind of up. Looks to be about 2 rooms up. On the left-hand side, you can kind of see wall. Looks like there's a window in the wall.
Huh. Well, that's different than everything else. So I think Lily would go to try and see what there is to see through this window.
Wait.
What? And like halt halfway between.
I'm just having the weirdest deja vu. Don't go near the windows.
Don't? But why? Why?
I don't remember.
What if they're our only way out of here?
I
Something tells me that in a space like this, something that seems to be too good to be true probably is.
Hmm.
Like, maybe a
what
manhole in
she
the
said.
ground.
Like
What
a
they said.
manhole, yeah. Like a
Ah.
manhole in the ground.
Hmm.
This is why we should have
Do
climbed
you want
over
to
the
do you want to
wall.
go past the window or turn another direction?
I'm gonna make a note of it. But
I
I'm
don't,
not gonna go past the window.
And since I didn't actually fully go to it, like I'm thinking of if we were kind of in the middle of the room and the windows like on the far side and I kind of stopped halfway between, could I still kind of try to look without going any closer? Would I notice anything?
Not really. It's kind of like you're facing the wall. So you're looking at the window kind of mostly edge on.
Hmm.
There's just enough of an angle to it. You could see it's a 2-pane window, the type that you would lift the lower half up to, let air in, see outside, whatever. And it looks like there is glass in it. You can see the reflection of the fluorescence.
Okay. Well,
Ooh, question. Can we see what, because there was ambient light outside, if gray.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is it still gray outside? Is there light coming in through the window?
You can't tell from this angle.
Oh.
Well, actually, no. You can tell there is no light coming in from the window. Whatever's behind the window must be dark because it's reflecting the lights of the fluorescence.
Huh. Well, that's terrible.
Everything here is terrible.
hmm.
I think
I didn't notice
I
this
sense
whole
a trend
mess is terrible.
emerging.
Okay. Well, no windows. Which
Now, it's a
where
fairly broad kind of room. You could pass the window 10 or 12 feet away from it against the other wall.
Just don't look at the window.
Okay.
Just do one of these. Blinders on, kids.
Mm,
Okay, so everybody's going past with the one with the hand up so they don't look at the window.
mhm.
Okay, everyone give me a willpower roll.
Oh, damn. It's going to make us look at it.
Willpower?
7s and up.
Where's that one?
Oh, dang.
Oh. Well, I have a lot though.
Good at the willpowers, at least.
Sorry, repeat storyteller. How many? Or what's
7s and up.
7's up?
Willpower roll, please.
1.
3.
2.
Two, both are 10s.
Three for me.
Okay, the 3s, not a problem. You can completely ignore that window. The 2s, you're moving. So, I mean, you mostly block it. You can see that there's a window there. Alette, you actually get a bit of an eyeful. It looks like it's looking into a room beside it, except it doesn't have fluorescent lights on. It's dark. And there looks like a figure standing in the room doing this.
Shit. What?
Gotta turn around to see where Alette is. Alette?
Hand at the level of your eye.
Something's waving at us. Something's
Oh.
waving at
Oh,
us.
Get
wait,
out of the
no,
room.
no, wait,
Alette,
no.
waving
keep
at
your
us.
hand at the level of your eye.
Keep it hand at your level
Keep
of your
hand
eye.
at the level of your eye.
Something
This
is-
is not Yellow Submarine. Do not wave back.
I don't even want to make you roll. You just get mobbed by the rest of the motley.
Oh,
There's a
Go, go, go,
pause. There's a
Get him,
pause.
get him,
The
go,
group,
go, go, go,
the
go.
group stops. Alette says something. The motley mobs her and drags her off.
And I imagine that Lee probably starts singing the Phantom of the Opera song that goes with that to Alette.
Track down this murderer. He must be found.
Okay. you get to kind of a big room that's a T intersection. There's wall in front of you, and then there's left or right.
Left is right because right is wrong. Let's go left.
Okay. You turn left and
Mark.
it looks like it's 4 or 5 rooms and then another wall. And that wall has some writing on it. It looks like brown marker or brown crayon, or maybe the writing's just been there for so long it's just kind of faded, though there's no natural light to fade it. But it's definitely not sharp black letters. However, it is in a hand that is familiar to Donovan.
What does it say?
What?
It is in Donovan's handwriting.
What?
And it says in letters about 3-4 inches tall, Donovan, you've clipped again, you idiot. Level 33.
I've been here before. Oh, that's why I remembered. Oh my.
Oh, did you write this to yourself?
We got this. Okay, no. This is coming back to me now. Oh, mama.
It's all
Yeah,
coming
levels.
back. It's
So
all
we got to
coming
get up
back
to level
you now.
33. And it's going to suck between here and there because things are going to get tougher. Don't
Wait,
interact
34
with
or 33?
33.
That's where we are, or that's where we need to go?
We're on level 0.
Great.
Oh, goody.
The next one is level 1. There's when you clip, you're always clipped to 0. Yeah, we don't look at the windows. Don't interact with anyone else because
Bad stuff?
yeah, no, just don't talk to anybody else.
Other than us.
Other than us.
Okay.
So
But there's the superhero, the Super Mario analogy. There's warp tubes or means there's tricks that we can skip levels.
do you know what
Okay.
those tricks are? Do you know what they look like at least? Like, do you have a kind of an idea of what we should look for to find the warp?
There was a big jump after 4. I remember that.
Then let's see if we can get ourselves to level 4.
So tell me something. We were supposed to be going to a town.
Yeah. We still are.
So some of this information might have actually been useful to us before we,
I forgot. I'm sorry. To get to 1, how did I get to 1? How did I get to 1? There was a wall. There was a wall that was slightly darker than the other ones. Kind of like if you're, you know what, this whole place reminds me of like Wolfenstein. And you've got like secret doors, and there was like one, you can always tell the secret door because it's just slightly different.
Yeah.
The wall was,
Well,
yeah, no, I've been here before, but it wasn't here.
if it has like a little crack in it, you put a bomb in front of it, and you're supposed to blow it up. Or
I think that's Zelda.
yes.
And you're
That's
not
a secret
wrong,
to
but I
everybody.
don't think any of us have explosives. Last time I fell
Yes.
into this place, I was in Boston.
I'm sorry. What?
Last time I fell into this place, I was in Boston.
Motley, what have we gotten ourselves into?
We're gonna get ourselves out of it.
We're
Doesn't
getting out of
matter
here.
what it is.
No,
We're
I
getting
got
out.
it.
So that
Something
might solve one of
that-
our mysteries.
You know, because honestly, with all of this, Donovan, I don't know about that contract you had us sign.
I think we
At this
fulfilled our
point.
contract.
Yeah. It's fine. You're still in
Problem
Boston.
is
You
we
know,
need to get
I
out of
mean,
it.
we're just.
Point being, we need
I-
to get out of here, guys.
I-
The- the-
yes,
you can
we
we
debate
need
the
to
finer
get out of
points
here, but there
contractual
will be
negotiation
there
after we leave.
discussions.
Yes.
Absolutely,
definitely.
I am
Runs into a
open
wall.
to this. I am on board.
What did Alette say?
Yes,
Alette speed runs into a wall.
Fuck this noise.
Yeah,
Bam!
Yahoo.
bring this
Okay,
chaos.
Alette, if you could be so kind as to roll me your strength plus, oh, you're attacking a wall. Let's call it brawl. 9s and 10s.
Does any of my specialties do anything?
Actually, Warrior's Halo might just save your butt. We'll see. We'll see what
Save
you.
Your butt.
We'll
What?
see what you roll first. Long jumping doesn't really. So yeah, let's go with straight up.
I have 2 9s and 2 10s.
Okay, so Warrior's
Dang,
Halo
son.
is going to save your butt because that's a whole lot of successes to run face first into what amounts to being a cement wall, causing yourself a lot of damage. So instead, because you have the specialty Warrior's Halo, which allows you to do really funky crouching tiger, hidden dragon TV type things, everyone watches Alette go tearing towards the wall and basically run up it. Now, again,
Cool.
this is an office space. The walls are about 9 foot high. The ceiling is 9 to 10 foot up there. So she goes up the wall and actually gets 3 steps onto the ceiling before somersaulting back down. And you can tell from the way your feet hit the wall, that's a pretty solid wall. And weirdly, the ceiling, for looking like it's those acoustical tile drop ceilings, felt like a pretty solid damn ceiling too.
I thought it was going to be like that one scene in the labyrinth where the little caterpillar thing says that the door was straight ahead in the wall, and it
Oh yeah.
that's a
Oh.
legit wall.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, but that's a wall.
Now
That
some
was
kick-ass
really
parkour.
cool, though, Alette. I didn't know you could do that. That's pretty awesome.
Parkour. So I guess you might be looking for a darker wall than the rest of this
Yeah. That's all.
light
That's,
mustard yellow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I had no idea this was going to happen.
Did anyone notice anything on the way here?
As soon
You
as I
mean
did,
just-
did I make any like? Because I was sort of like examining each room as we went through. Did I happen to notice any walls that were different colors on the way, or I will also.
Everybody give me a perception plus alertness. And you're looking at 9s and 10s.
Do I have a specialty?
2 10s.
0.
10 and 2 9s.
So
Blue
0s and
sets.
2s.
Or
4?
Got 4.
Okay. And 3 for Penn. So Penn, no, you don't remember having seen
Unless
anything
insightful
to
applies.
this point? No, unfortunately it doesn't. But you don't remember, but then again, you weren't looking for a slightly darker
Yeah.
shaded wall. However, from this written message, Donovan, you can tell you want to go right. A little bit of memory, kind of with 4 successes, a little bit of memory goes, oh, wait. From here, it's to the right.
Yeah. Because I was trying to be sneaky because in case this got erased by whatever's down here. But yeah, we haven't run into anything, so that's good. I remember. I think this way. I'm just like
this way?
sorry,
Okay.
stopping somebody.
Well,
or
okay,
stopping
this
them. It's
way.
like, wait, there's a window, and I like sort of
Hmm.
go find it, sort of go around the office that has the window, sort of thing.
Okay. You do successfully pass 1 or 2 more windows. I would like everyone to roll me once again. Glamour, current glamour, versus banality.
Oh, shit.
7 6s and up.
6
Now,
7s
how
and up.
many of you? Yes, 6s and up. All you need is 1. If you get no successes, you get to add another nightmare.
2 successes.
Jesus.
I had nothing to roll.
I know.
Oh, well.
So another temporary nightmare.
Yep. I have 2 now.
Me too.
Now, one of the things to know about nightmare dice is that they're much like blood dice in Vampire. As long as you have nightmare, when you are rolling to do anything with your arts or anything in the dreaming, the physical doesn't matter, perception doesn't matter. But if you're doing anything with your arts and bunks and stuff, you replace dice with your nightmare dice. So if you've got 2 points of nightmare, you're rolling 2 nightmare dice. And
Jeez.
what happens on those dice will impact what goes on. You can get rid of nightmare eventually, not here,
Yep.
not in the place where you're getting it.
Yep.
We're
And
gonna
for those who
die.
haven't started down that wonderful spiral yet,
We're gonna
the
die.
chances of getting nightmare increase the longer that you're in here.
Don't say
Okay.
that. We just got here.
You've actually been here for a few hours at this
This is
point.
gonna suck.
We've sped through. We fast forwarded a whole lot of walking, which is a wonderful thing because it would be boring for both us and the viewers to go, okay, we're walking,
And we're walking,
some
we're
more,
walking,
and we're walking,
and we're stopping.
and we're walking some more.
And here
It
is a
takes-
window. Don't look at it.
It's probably about another hour and a half of walking, give or
Jeez.
take. Time kind of is a little funny down here trying to track things. Your phones are down to 10%. And as you look at your phones, none of your clocks agree.
Oh shit.
They all still seem to be working fine, but none of them agree. And it's not by a few minutes. Lara, yours says it's about 9:33 at night. Pan, yours says it's 6:15 in the morning. Lily, yours says it's about 2 in the morning.
It is
Lee,
like an
yours
office.
says it's lunchtime,
In Australia.
a little afternoon. Alette, your phone isn't quite sure. You think when you blink and look at it, it might actually be counting backwards. It doesn't seem to be, but then you look away and look back, and it might be. And Donovan, you know better than to look at your phone down.
Lee's gonna stuff
So-
hers back in her pocket. This is useless. This thing's
If
useless.
Donovan, if you ran into this place when you were in Boston, then I think that solves our little mystery about what's going on with those random scripts. Call sheet from Vancouver, call sheet from Hamilton. This place is probably some sort of interconnected place for stuff like that. I don't know.
Kind of a junction.
I mean, maybe.
Kinda.
Why would anyone want to make this a junction? It's horrifying.
Hey, Laura, check your pockets real quick.
Lara's gonna check her pockets.
Yeah, you
You've got the 3 Band-Aids that were in there before,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of napkins,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of packets of sugar,
Mm-hmm.
and some stir sticks.
Okay.
So pretty much the same stuff that you had back in Building 11, but a few napkins have been added at some point somehow.
Okay. There's nothing new in here, Pen.
Okay, it's worth a shot.
I know.
Isn't that bad?
I mean, the napkins are new, right?
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah,
know
I
when
don't
they
remember
got
you
there.
having- Huh.
I don't know when they got there. I don't know if they got there before we went in or after we went in.
But isn't it bad? Isn't your thing that you just find new things?
Well, I mean, sometimes it doesn't always happen. I
isn't it
told you
bad
I
then
can't
that
control
you
it.
have nothing new?
Not necessarily. I mean, I sometimes don't pick anything up. Sometimes, I don't know,
I
I guess
honestly don't believe that.
subconsciously I can control it in some way sometimes. I just you know.
I honestly don't believe that.
Well, I know
I
what you
mean,
believe and what
also,
you don't believe, and it doesn't matter what you believe and what you don't believe. There's nothing new in my pockets, and that's, I can't change
I find that
Yeah, but
disturbing. The fact that there's nothing new
normally,
in your pockets.
normally
is disturbing.
when you pick up things, though, there's things to be around to be picked up, and this
Yeah.
place is terribly empty. I don't, the stuff that is in here that is bad stuff. Like, I don't think we want Laura to have any of that come out of her
Yeah,
pockets.
I
No.
don't want any of this stuff.
No,
Coming
That-
back
that's-
out of here and you come
that's
out
all
with like
regular
a
pocket things.
catapede leg or something weird.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm curious. Here in this junction area, since Mr. Donovan, since you seem to know it, does sunlight function the same way?
Storyteller.
And Lyra puts on her botanist hat and basically is looking for, a producer of photosynthesis. Can you do that in the dreaming?
You're not in the dreaming.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're not.
Okay.
Yeah. No, and Donovan will tell you that no, sunlight
Doesn't work the same way?
I've never seen-
maybe on some levels. It depends on the level. Not here.
So it's kind of like the difference between how the sun behaves on Krypton and the way the sun behaves here. Okay, good. All right. I thought I'd give it a shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna find
It's
that wall.
about- Yeah, it's about an hour and a half, maybe a little more of walking, and you come around a corner. There's a big, long, rectangular room, openings at the far end and kind of over to the right as well. And you can visibly see a slight difference on the left-hand wall. It's got to be 50, 60 feet long. It's a long one. But there's about a 10-foot section, about a third of the way along, that looks moister. It looks like the wallpaper has gotten thick with humidity or something. It is just that little bit darker, that little bit kind of puffier looking.
That
Ugh.
looks a little different, doesn't it?
That water damage look. Ooh.
You know what happens when drywall gets wet? It just acts like a sponge, and then you can poke it and leave holes in it.
Yeah, that's.
How did I
exactly
know
what-
that?
That's exactly what we're gonna do. And
Poke a
Donovan
hole
reaches
in
down
it?
for the sword that he thought was going to be at his side, and isn't, because his thing disappeared. Right, the armor's gone.
Wait.
How-
Oh, I got a stick.
A stick. That'll work.
Yeah.
Draw us a door
Okay. So
and just scrape it out of the open up the wallpaper.
okay. So Lily's going to take her walking stick and it's got kind of like a little metalish cap on the bottom. Anyway, just going to sort of draw a rectangle in the wall.
When you push it against the wall to start drawing, it sinks into the wall, and the
What?
wallpaper kind of seems to dimple a little bit around it.
Oh, this is gross.
And you can feel it's got about the consistency of Jello, roughly.
Oh, right. We have to walk
And you
through it.
push into it, and you can kind of drag the walking stick up, but it's like dragging it through really thick congealed oatmeal or something. It is really tough to do.
Yeah. Oh,
This is traumatizing.
yeah. Ugh. Like sort of like maybe 2-3 feet up from the floor and just sort of shoop it out of
And
the wall.
there's no
and-
line left behind. It
There's
goes
nothing
up,
stuck to
and
my stick.
There's nothing stuck to the stick.
Oh, right.
Oh, what? I'm just gonna turn to Donovan and be like, what?
You need to draw a door.
No, that's not how. No, that was a different. Oh, okay.
Do we have to
Well,
walk through this?
I think we have
duck?
to walk through it.
No, just draw a doorknob. We can turn it and open it.
Didn't
I'll do it since you're all grossed out.
Didn't our friend who taught us D&D, didn't she tell us about like gelatinous cubes and all that? Like,
Yeah, but gelatinous
I don't
cubes
want to
eat.
gelatinous cube.
I don't want to go to gelatinous.
no.
I don't remember talking about gelatinous cube.
And I walk up to the wall.
I don't want to talk about a gelatinous
Started-
cube.
Donovan puts his hand on
Yeah.
the wall and just starts walking through it.
And you people can see his hand sinks into the wall. And it's like the wallpaper is swallowing it. It doesn't push in, it dimples. Donovan, it feels like pushing into Jello, like week old Jello, where it gets that really thick kind of rubbery skin to it. There is
Loving
no
this
sense.
description.
There is no sensation though. You can't feel it. There's no temperature. All there is
Take a
the
deep breath.
resistance.
See you on the other side, and just walk through.
And Donovan just sinks into, it takes a bit of a push to get in, but he just sinks into the wall. And as he sinks away through the wall, it just seems to, the dimpling undimples. It's not like the wallpaper moves or anything. It's just like it just returns to as it was. And
And like-
Donovan's gone, and there's the wall.
It's kind of like memory foam when you stick your hand in it, it just goes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Lee's
I-
next. Lee's definitely going in next, just like.
Wait, Lee. I think rather than one at a time, maybe we
Hold
should make
hands?
like, yeah, that one. Hold on, so we don't
Hold
lose
on to
each
your
other.
buddy.
Buddies.
Lara makes a point of holding, Lee makes a point of holding Lara's hand.
About
got
10
this,
feet
we
wide,
got
gives you
this.
about 2 feet for each of you, so you do need to snug up a little bit. You don't want the people on the edges to scrape, just in case there's scraping happening in there. But you can pretty much all tuck together and walk through en masse. And yes,
Oh.
it even en masse, it dimples in front of you and conforms and seems to, and again, all you feel is the pressure. There's no temperature difference. There's nothing to tell you anything is there except for the fact that you are pushing through this rubbery kind of resistance. It's dark for a moment. When it hits your face, which I imagine most of you are going, it's dark for a moment. And then hands and whatever is leading forward press through into the air. And you come through the other side, and there's Donovan waiting for you. And you are in a broad 10-foot wide concrete floored, concrete walled kind of short hallway that you can see about 20, 30 feet down opens up into a larger space. Okay. There are pipes and vents along one wall, fairly up, up near the ceiling, that go in and then turn into the larger building or the larger room past. There's, again, it feels like you're in a big cement basement. There's that weird kind of condensation, humidity feeling. You can see forward a little bit. There's a little bit of puddling on the floor. It's not fluorescent lights. It's the overhead old arc style lights. So there are pools of light, pools of shadow. It's fairly decently lit. And there you are. You are now in Donovan will let you know you have now made it to from level 0 to level 1. And that's where we are going to wrap for the night, with the motley in the wonderful place called the back rooms.
We better find some warp tunnels fast.
Pew, pew,
Real quick.
Yeah, I have I have more nightmare than I have glamour now. So
Oh, that's going to be all sorts of fun next time you use that.
yeah.
Excellent. So thank you very much, viewers, for coming along on this wonderfully interesting and entertaining journey as we take the motley into another part of the world of Changeling the Dreaming, where it's a little more group horrifically fun than individually so. So excellent. We're going to spin around our motley again so that they can all thank you very much for tuning in. So if you'd be so kind, tell them where they can find you, what you got going on next, and let our viewers know where to catch up with you and the wonderful things that you are doing elsewhere. And let's take our Widdershins back around, starting with Rose, please.
All right, thanks. Hey, everyone. Once again, I'm Rose, and I was playing Lee, your friendly neighborhood amnesiac Selkie. First and foremost, I would like to announce on this channel, at the very least, that I am creative partner with Bartlett Games, and you can catch me. Thank you. I'll be playing my Venture Dominatrix every Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. PDT, playing in This Bloody Garden, a Vampire the Masquerade V5 Chronicle using the Cult of the Blood God rules, and it's set in St. Louis. If you like what you see here right now, you can also catch me on TikTok at Rose Bulbasaur. You can also keep to date with me on my socials, which are Twitter and Instagram at Rose_Bulbasaur. And thanks for watching, everyone.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Rose. And next after Rose, we have Anita.
Hi, everybody. I'm Anita or Panita or Critical Misses. You can find me everywhere online at Panita or at Critical Misses. I'm a TTRPG streamer, graphic designer, actual player, and cat mom about the space. Announcements. We're starting our brand new season on the Critical Misses channel. Kingsguard's coming back on Wednesdays. We have a Blades in the Dark campaign on Wednesdays. And on Fridays, I am running Star Trek Adventures, The Lost Frontier, with an amazing cast, and I'm really excited to get started. And then Saturday mornings, we have our TTRPG talk show, Morning Ritual. Our guest this week, by the time that this airs, is going to be Wally. So we're going to chat with him for a little bit. And other than that, follow me on all the socials, and you can see the kind of things that I'm up to. That's me.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Anita. And after Anita, we have Kitty.
Hi, everybody. Kitty Kimchi here. And tonight I was Alette, your mischievous zookeeping puka. For any updates, check my Twitter at Yep, She's Blasian. And I am hoping to make my storytelling debut sometime in December. So be on the lookout.
Ooh. Nice. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Kitty. And Joanna, please.
Hello, my name is Joanna. I was playing Lara Applewood for you today, and you will find me on Twitter at Hyrule Gardener, and you will find me here on VBN during our Saturday takeover playing a much loved Tremere. Yeah, I can't hold back a laugh either. On the Saturday takeover, and when you see this, we will be 3 days away from our 24-hour stream for Extra Life, which every single person on the screen is taking part in one of those games. We will be having games from 9 a.m. until on the 27th, Saturday, until 9 a.m. the next morning. We will be playing Dungeons and Dragons. We will be playing Vampire. We will be playing Kids on Brooms. We will be playing Vampires Do D&D version 2. And we will have giveaways by Dogmite, some amazing giveaways. We will be having some special guests, which you'll be seeing the announcements. And yeah, so we'll be putting the link in the chat for Extra Life. Please, if you can, donate. If you can't, spread the word. And if you have the energy and the time, definitely join us and cheer us on so that we can, consume coffee or energy drinks for the 24-hour period. And that's it for me.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Joanna, and very much looking forward to the 27th. That is going to be just incredible. And tonight, the last one of our motley, but never the least, Crystal.
Yes, Crystal. Played Lily Winters. I finally remembered my character name. Your friendly neighborhood Corrid. And I am not really on social media, but I am, as Joanna just said, going to be playing in Kids on Brooms with Anita. That'll be cool. And Joanna, actually, both of them, the pair. Plus a couple more, and that should be interesting. It's not a game I've ever played. And yeah, we should watch this space here because we're up to things.
Thank you very much, Crystal. And our special guest again this week, the returning, the inevitable, Michael.
Hey everyone, Mikey him played Donovan, he him, who is determined to get this Motley to like him, despite the fact that out of character, I'm only given the information that the storyteller gives me. So if you really don't want to trust me, it's really the storyteller you don't trust. I'm just saying. Anyway, you can catch my pre and post COVID cosplay adventures. Shut up.
Shade.
at
Comfy
Canadian
under
Captain
this
America
bus.
on Instagram or TikTok, or CDN Captain America on Twitter, where I mainly just bitch and whine about various things about Dungeons and Dragons. Speaking of D&D, you can catch me on the Saturday the 27th. I will be playing a different character. I will be Batman, but you'll figure out how and why and everything. It'll be fun. I also play normally on Sundays in the Fandolin by Night game on this very channel from 2 to 4 p.m. PST. You can catch me on Tuesdays DMing my own 5th edition game of Would-Be Heroes at 6 to 9 p.m. PST. And I am in the Saturday Vampire Takeover with a, I guess, not so beloved character, Mordecai. People like him, but they like him for specific reasons, I guess. And I don't bother questioning. Anyways, he likes it when people like him. He's got an inferiority complex. It's terrible.
We don't hate
Record, I like all your
Mordecai.
characters, Mike.
We don't hate Mordecai.
Mordecai is useful, so we don't hate him. That's fair.
Excellent. And my name's Cliff. I was the storyteller for the night, the guy who sets up the fun and lets the Motley go a little crazy and explore where and as they will, with the occasional nudge here and there, usually through windows or small felinoid creatures that yeah, yes, we know. You can find me all over the interwebs under the Vintage Self. You can also find me here on the Saturdays for the Vampire Takeover as part of the Delves into Darkness crew, where interesting things are happening and we're riding out the storyline until all of Vancouver erupts into something that I can't even describe yet, except it's going to be big and bright and probably going to be hurtful of the eyes. Speaking of which, Vancouver by Night, we love this channel. Go check out their YouTubes to look for past episodes of us, vampire games, all sorts of stuff on their Patreon. $1 on their Patreon, you get so much content in there. It is just amazing. Last I checked, they were at over 650 subscribers on the YouTube channel, and we're aiming for 1,000. So hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you know when things are happening. I will also be around on the 27th to enjoy part of that 24-hour, and I'll be watching a whole lot of it because it's just the whole 24 hours is just full of so much stuff, and it's for such a wonderful cause. It's a great reason to raise money, especially as we approach the holiday season. So thank you very much again for viewing. Thank you for any subscriptions or bits or anything else that you've given. Thank you for your time and your attention, because we adore you folk coming in and chattering away in the chat, which I'm always here on Wednesdays to watch the chat and get a couple of giggles out of it. So we will see you next week when we find out what happens when they get to level 1. Have a great night. Stay safe, stay well, stay healthy, and we'll see you in a week.
Sweet dreams, everyone.